Chapter 2441. Two dead mid-level celestial sovereigns on an island, two disfigured corpses lay on the ground. Blood stained the island, and the blood of the celestial sovereigns, containing immense power, carved out large blood paths on the island, flowing towards the ocean. Countless small fish, each the size of a fist and with two legs, were gnawing at the corpses. Their teeth were extremely sharp, tearing off pieces of flesh with each bite. Although they didn't eat quickly, if the two corpses could still feel, this would undoubtedly be the most terrifying punishment. Lin Moyu saw this scene through the eyes of the brocade-clad witch and immediately rushed over. The flying fish, carrying the powerful pressure of a mid-level celestial sovereign, swept down, scaring the two-legged fish away in a panic. Humans and demons. Although the two corpses were disfigured, their identities could still be discerned. One was a human celestial sovereign, and the other was a demon celestial sovereign. Judging from the aura left by the corpses, both were mid-level celestial sovereigns. The flying fish scared away the two-legged fish, and Lin Moyu descended from the sky, flicking out a ball of undying flame that landed on the demon celestial sovereign's corpse. Original level spell. Resurrection of the dead. The flesh on the corpse quickly regenerated, and the dispersed soul began to reassemble according to some rule. In the blink of an eye, the demon celestial sovereign was resurrected, kneeling respectfully before Lin Moyu. From his appearance, he seemed to be a celestial sovereign of the Grey Wolf lineage among the demons. Lin Moyu asked, "What is your name? Explain what happened before you died here." The demon celestial sovereign immediately responded, "My name is Han Feng. I discovered traces of fish bones and origin crystals here, along with a human celestial sovereign. We fought over the fish bones and origin crystals, resulting in mutual destruction, and we both died here." Lin Moyu found this strange. When mid-level celestial sovereigns fight, they may get injured, but killing each other is not easy. If one side is losing, they would definitely escape. If their strengths are similar, they would likely stop at the right moment. Only mortal enemies would fight to the death. Moreover, they would rather die in battle than use the Realm Sea token. Lin Moyu felt something was off. He flicked out the undying flame again, resurrecting the human celestial sovereign. The human celestial sovereign was named Yi Xin, and his description was similar to Han Feng's. Lin Moyu asked, "What were you both thinking at that time?" Both replied in unison, "We just wanted to kill each other." The uniformity of their answers made Lin Moyu feel even more uneasy. He realized that something might have influenced their minds and emotions, turning their fight into a death match, resulting in mutual destruction. The most crucial point was that their memories stopped at the moment they were severely injured. They didn't even know who killed them. Lin Moyu asked, "Where is the fish bone you found?" Both pointed in the same direction, over there, on an island. Lin Moyu looked in the direction they pointed and saw the island. It wasn't far, and it was larger than the other islands. On the island, there was a small mountain, and at the top, a fish bone stood upright like a sword, clearly visible. According to their descriptions, there were also many origin crystals beside the fish bone. These were not low-level origin crystals but 4th and 5th level origin crystals. Lin Moyu looked at the fish bone, frowning slightly, sensing something was wrong. He sent a skeleton general to retrieve the fish bone while he watched from a distance. The skeleton general quickly approached, but when it was a kilometer away from the island, an invisible force descended, impacting the skeleton general's soul. The skeleton general, seemingly unaffected, continued flying towards the fish bone. However, Lin Moyu felt this invisible force, which could influence one's mind. He guessed that this was why Yi Xin and Han Feng fought to the death, influenced by this invisible force. The force was subtle, and if not for his keen senses, he might not have detected it. Unfortunately, the skeleton general had no thoughts of its own, so its soul was not affected. Lin Moyu murmured, "Deception is ineffective, let's see how you respond." When the skeleton general was only 100 meters away, it suddenly couldn't get any closer, as if blocked by a force. The fish bone then lit up, causing a spatial ripple, and the skeleton general was shattered with a bang. Lin Moyu was slightly surprised. When the fish bone lit up, the pattern on it was very conspicuous, and a mysterious and powerful force burst out, leaving the skeleton general defenseless. The flying fish had instinctively valued the fish bone but couldn't utilize its power. However, the unknown entity here could. "We have trouble." Lin Moyu quickly pondered his next move and asked, "How did you two get here?" They explained their arrival. Han Feng found a stone, and after breaking it, he arrived here. Yi Xin entered a lake, found a vortex, and came here through it. They hadn't found a way forward yet. Lin Moyu temporarily set aside the fish bone and sent the skeleton general to find any passage to other spaces. Meanwhile, he targeted the two-legged fish, thinking of finding creatures to explore the ocean. These two-legged fish seemed suitable, not very strong but able to survive in this ocean. Importantly, there were enough of them to replace the skeleton general. Lin Moyu summoned the skeleton king and had Ke Jun, Yi Xin, and Han Feng hunt the two-legged fish together. He aimed to create an army of resurrected two-legged fish. He instructed them to avoid the island with the fishbone for now. A large-scale hunt began in this space. The two-legged fish were numerous but scattered, unable to resist the skeleton king's slaughter. Under the bone sword, the two-legged fish were quickly killed, and their bodies brought back to Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu found that the two-legged fish were not very powerful and had a single attack method, spitting the two sharp teeth in their mouths like arrows. After spitting out the teeth, they could immediately grow new ones, seemingly endless. The teeth were quite powerful, comparable to low-level celestial sovereigns. A skeleton general would be killed in 2 hits. However, no matter how they resisted, they couldn't withstand the attacks of the skeleton king and the 3 mid-level celestial sovereigns. Lin Moyu ignited a blazing flame, turning the two-legged fish into resurrected beings under his command. Although they lacked intelligence, it didn't matter as long as they could follow orders. The resurrected two-legged fish were released again, forming groups to attack other two-legged fish. A self-slaughter feast of the two-legged fish began. Chapter 2442, 2442. Chapter 2442. The army of resurrected two-legged flying fish. With the addition of the resurrected army, the efficiency of slaughtering the two-legged small fish increased further. As the number of resurrected beings grew, the efficiency continued to accelerate. Lin Moyu found it strange how these unintelligent two-legged small fish could ascend to the celestial sovereign level. They had no rule world, no understanding of laws, only some instincts, yet they possessed the combat power of celestial sovereigns. The previous flying fish were the same, with combat power reaching mid-level celestial sovereign, yet still without intelligence. This situation was very unusual. Normally, upon reaching the celestial sovereign level, some intelligence would awaken. Moreover, without a rule world or understanding of laws, how did they become celestial sovereigns? Lin Moyu had been pondering this question since entering the Realm Sea but had not found an answer. The spiny fish in the Realm Sea were similar, lacking intelligence but reaching the peak supreme level. Some spiny fish even nurtured origin crystals within their bodies. How this was achieved was baffling, completely defying his common sense. Unable to understand, Lin Moyu could only console himself. Perhaps this is the wonder of the origin continent. More and more two-legged small fish became resurrected beings, and efficiency kept improving. A day later, the skeleton general had explored this space thoroughly. There was no way to other spaces in the void above the ocean. Except for the island with the fish bone, the other islands had nothing special. Since that was the case, only 2 places remained, the island with the fish bone and the ocean itself. Lin Moyu was not in a hurry. In just one day, 1/3 of the two-legged small fish had become resurrected beings, numbering over 3 million. At this rate, in a little over a day, all the two-legged small fish in this space would become resurrected beings. At that time, sending them to explore the ocean would take at most 1 or 2 days to explore it thoroughly. A day later, almost all the two-legged small fish had become resurrected beings. The army of resurrected beings purely composed of them reached tens of millions. An army of tens of millions of low-level celestial sovereigns was enough to destroy ordinary sect forces on the origin continent. Throughout the process, the island with the fish bone remained motionless. It had no intention of stopping Lin Moyu, and the deaths of these two-legged small fish had nothing to do with it. Lin Moyu also did not provoke it. You leave me alone, and I won't bother you. Until all the two-legged small fish in the ocean became his own, Lin Moyu began to have them search the ocean's world. 2 days later, over 10 million two-legged small fish had explored the ocean thoroughly. There was nothing in the ocean, no exit to other spaces. Now, Lin Moyu faced only 2 choices, go to the island with the fish bone or use the Realm Sea token to leave. In fact, Lin Moyu could indeed choose to leave. He had already gained a lot this time. An army of resurrected beings composed of tens of millions of low-level celestial sovereigns, including 3 mid-level celestial sovereign resurrected beings like the flying fish, a dozen 4th-level origins, and a fish bone. The gains seemed substantial, but Lin Moyu did not want to give up just yet. He approached the island cautiously, with his soul guarded and the calamity staff firmly in hand. To deal with soul attacks, the calamity staff was the last line of defense. When he was a kilometer away from the island, an invisible force swept out, entering Lin Moyu's real world and reaching his soul. His soul momentarily lost focus, and a strong desire to fight surged from deep within. His soul began to lose control, and Lin Moyu had only one thought: to fight. The world tree shook violently, shedding clear energy onto his soul. The 10-colored dragon soul crystal roared, spewing dragon breath onto his soul. Earth-colored light blossomed on his soul body, and the defense once blessed by the calamity staff on his soul body automatically activated. His soul jolted awake, and he was extremely shocked. This attack ignored the real world and directly reached the soul. If it weren't for his multiple means, he might have been lost. What a strange attack! What kind of power is this? This attack was indefensible, and even mid-level celestial sovereigns would be unknowingly bewitched, becoming battle-crazed lunatics. Yi Xin and Han Feng were like this, influenced by this invisible force, ultimately injuring each other severely. However, the final blow that killed them was from an unknown attack. Lin Moyu continued to approach, getting closer to the island. When he was 500 meters away, a strong source aura hit him. At the top of the mountain, there were over 20 origin crystals, including 6 or 7 5th-level origin crystals. Most importantly, among the origin crystals was a peculiar piece of metal. The metal emitted a hazy mist, constantly changing shapes. Upon seeing the metal, Lin Moyu realized it was a spiritual material favored by infinite fusion. Sure enough, the next second, infinite fusion buzzed and vibrated. It seemed to smell the fragrance of food, waking up from its slumber. Lin Moyu could feel it hadn't fully recovered. The stone bug it absorbed earlier wasn't enough for complete recovery. Infinite fusion flew to his soul, circling around. Lin Moyu smiled. Want it? Infinite fusion bobbed up and down, as if saying, yes, yes. It was like a child asking for a treat, and Lin Moyu couldn't refuse. Okay, I'll find a way to get it for you. Lin Moyu promised infinite fusion. Originally, he could leave without getting the fish bone or even the origin crystals. But with infinite fusion involved, Lin Moyu felt he had to fulfill this little guy's request. After all, infinite fusion had done a lot for him, and he couldn't let it down. Lin Moyu continued to approach the island, stopping 150 meters away. Another 50 meters forward was where the skeleton general was killed. He knew he would face another attack. Time and space converged, forming a force that enveloped him. Prepared, Lin Moyu continued to fly forward. Soon, at 100 meters away, he encountered an invisible wall blocking his path. The fish bone lit up, emitting dazzling light, and a force surged from the fish bone, stirring the space. Lin Moyu was ready. The force of time and space activated, and the fish bone's power passed through him without causing harm. Though he stood there, he was not in that space-time. When the space returned to normal, Lin Moyu also returned to the present space-time, with the flying fish appearing beside him. The flying fish flapped its wings, emitting a sharp cry, launching countless attacks on the invisible wall. The wall took shape under the flying fish's attack, like a dome covering the island. With a sound like glass shattering, the invisible wall broke. The fish bone lit up again, and space attacks descended once more. Lin Moyu immediately retracted the flying fish and entered another space-time. The attack failed again, and the island shook violently, raising huge waves. Chapter 2443, 2443. Chapter 2443, The Scarlet Enchantment Coral. Amidst the rumbling, the island came to life. In an instant, countless scarlet water arrows shot forth. Lin Moyu's face changed drastically as he quickly retreated, using the power of time and space to keep himself in another dimension. The number of scarlet water arrows was too many, and their speed was astonishingly fast. Lin Moyu was pierced by the water arrows before he could react. The dimension was shattered, and his undying golden body was broken on the spot, causing Lin Moyu to stumble back into the present world. These scarlet water arrows had broken through the dimensional barrier, forcibly pulling him out. The immense power of the water arrows severely damaged the undead army. Fortunately, with the significant effect of damage transfer, Lin Moyu endured the first wave of attacks and retreated over 100 miles. The island shook violently, countless rocks rolled down, revealing the true face of the island. The water of the realm sea emitted a red glow, not blood red, but a brilliant red. A stunningly beautiful red coral appeared in Lin Moyu's sight. This red color penetrated the soul, carrying an inexplicable attraction that would captivate anyone at first glance. Lin Moyu stood 100 miles away, in his rule world, where the world tree swayed wildly, scattering boundless clear energy. The 10-colored dragon soul crystal also emitted dragon roars, helping Lin Moyu resist the enchanting power. With the combined efforts of both, and Lin Moyu's firm Dao heart, his soul remained clear and unaffected. Han Feng, Yi Xin, and Kei Jun appeared simultaneously beside Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu asked in a low voice, "Do you know what this is?" Kei Jun did not answer. As a mid-level celestial sovereign of the Luozi sect, he did not know. Han Feng also did not know, but fortunately, Yi Xin provided the answer. This is the Scarlet Enchantment Coral, a material from the Realm Sea that can be used to refine pills and artifacts. Many of the artifacts of the Wansei sect are made from the Scarlet Enchantment Coral. Lin Moyu listened to the answer, realizing it was a material used for refining pills and artifacts. Clearly, the Scarlet Enchantment Coral before him was not simple. It had awakened some intelligence and was no longer an ordinary material. Moreover, it had absorbed the power of origin crystals and fish bones, making it extremely powerful. The origin crystals, fish bones, and spiritual materials were all embedded within the coral. To obtain them, the coral had to be shattered. Lin Moyu looked at the Scarlet Enchantment Coral, his eyes flashing with brilliance. Its strength should still be within the range of a mid-level celestial sovereign, but with the power of the fish bones, it can affect the soul and kill invisibly. From this perspective, its terrifying degree even surpasses that of a high-level celestial sovereign. However, it has no effect on the undead army and can be dealt with. Moreover, the Scarlet Enchantment Coral itself is a material that can be used to summon an elemental lich. Lin Moyu's thoughts surged, deciding to deal with the Scarlet Enchantment Coral. Not only for the fish bones and spiritual materials, but Lin Moyu also wanted to use the Scarlet Enchantment Coral to summon an elemental lich. As Lin Moyu was contemplating, space rippled, and a powerful attack came head-on. The Scarlet Enchantment Coral vibrated all over, launching a strong attack. The power of time and space converged, and Lin Moyu quickly entered another dimension to avoid the attack. Kei Jun and the other two were not so lucky. The space ripples struck them directly, sending them flying like cannonballs. The Scarlet Enchantment Coral then emitted a dazzling red light, illuminating a large area of the Realm Sea. Amidst the booming sound, countless water arrows burst from the Realm Sea. "Here it comes again," Lin Moyu muttered. The Scarlet Enchantment Coral's attack method was exactly the same as before. However, this time, Lin Moyu was 100 miles away and no longer as passive as before. He retreated again to widen the distance, and the shadows around him flickered as the Dragon Cavalry Corps moved out. The bone rule gathered into a sea, covering the core and forming a bone shield to block the water arrows. The water arrows were extremely powerful, pushing the Dragon Cavalry Corps back step by step, but they barely managed to hold on. The undying flames burned fiercely, and 500 skeleton kings emerged in response. Lin Moyu pointed at the Scarlet Enchantment Coral, and the bone hell instantly enveloped the coral. The hellish spirits pounced on the coral, biting it. The gap between Supreme and Celestial Sovereign was too large, and the hellish spirits bit with difficulty. However, they ignored the difficulty and gnawed madly. The Scarlet Enchantment Coral trembled again, the fish bones glowed, space rippled, and the bone hell was shattered on the spot. Marking complete, kill. The bone hell completed its mission gloriously, marking the target for Lin Moyu. The Skeleton Kings swung their swords simultaneously, white bone / god. The rule world rose, bone shadows appeared, and the intense sword light exploded on the Scarlet Enchantment Coral. The coral shattered, and the massive Scarlet Enchantment Coral was blasted into countless fragments by the sword. The Scarlet Enchantment Coral was completely enraged. Its bright red body began to move, evolving into thousands of giant whips that lashed out. Lin Moyu retreated again, and the Dragon Cavalry Corps and Skeleton Kings also retreated. The whips lashed into the Realm Sea, causing it to explode and shoot out countless water arrows again. The coral kept lashing, and the water arrows rained down like a storm. The Skeleton Kings swung their bone swords, forming an impenetrable defense to block the water arrows. The immense impact force pushed them back continuously. The Dragon Cavalry Corps was in a similar situation, facing the overwhelming water arrow attack. They could only defend and could not break through. Lin Moyu's mind moved, and Kei Jun and the other two mid-level celestial sovereigns charged against the flow, breaking through the water arrow blockade and attacking the scarlet enchantment coral. As mid-level celestial sovereigns, their strength was much greater than that of the skeleton kings. The flying fish appeared, instantly rushing to the front of the three to clear the way. The flying fish's wings vibrated, launching countless attacks, shattering all the incoming water arrows. The scarlet enchantment coral evolved countless scarlet whips to lash out, but the flying fish's wings vibrated more intensely, cutting all the whips. As a resurrected being, the flying fish was stronger than before, with its attack power truly reaching the peak of mid-level celestial sovereign. In terms of pure attack, it surpassed the scarlet enchantment coral. The fish bones within the scarlet enchantment coral kept vibrating, disturbing the space, while the coral itself emitted enchanting light, trying to influence the flying fish and K-Jun and the other two. Unfortunately, as resurrected beings, their consciousness only followed Lin Moyu's orders and had no thoughts of their own, so they were not affected. The stars of the resurrection spell shone brightly, and the flying fish and others instantly entered another dimension, avoiding the spatial impact. In the blink of an eye, they broke through the water arrow blockade and reached the scarlet enchantment coral. K-Jun and the other two immediately launched a fierce attack on the scarlet enchantment coral. The flying fish's massive body crashed into the coral like an arrow, creating a hole. It rushed in, vibrating its wings, and in an instant, the hole expanded several times. The scarlet enchantment coral suffered severe damage, and the newly intelligent creature retaliated furiously. The ocean boiled, and the aftermath of the battle swept across tens of thousands of miles of ocean, sending towering water columns into the sky. If the ocean were not composed of the realm sea's water, it would have evaporated long ago. If this battle took place in the Great World, all the star systems within 100 light-years would be doomed. The destructive power of a celestial sovereign battle was unimaginable. The four mid-level celestial sovereign resurrected beings surrounded and attacked the scarlet enchantment coral, gradually gaining the upper hand. The skeleton kings swung their bone swords again, unleashing the second white bone/god. Another large piece of coral was shattered, and the scarlet enchantment coral's frantic resistance was futile. The dragon cavalry corps finally no longer needed to block the water arrows and charged forward to join the battle. Lin Moyu breathed a sigh of relief. The situation was under control. Chapter 2444, 2444. Chapter 2444. Star Enchantment Lich in the underwater vortex. After persisting for more than 10 minutes, the scarlet enchantment coral was finally shattered. The last trace of its intelligence was also obliterated, and the scarlet enchantment coral completely perished. K-Jun and the other two returned, bringing back the fish bone, origin crystals, and spiritual materials. Additionally, they brought back a piece of scarlet enchantment coral slightly larger than a palm. This was the main body of the scarlet enchantment coral. What they had seen before were just its evolved forms. The main body of the scarlet enchantment coral emitted the aura of a celestial sovereign, with a high grade comparable to the treasure robe of the brocade-clad witch. Lin Moyu stored the spiritual materials in his rule world, and infinite fusion immediately flew over and swallowed the spiritual materials in one gulp. It then returned to its place, contentedly digesting the materials. This little guy would eat anything, regardless of whether it was easy to digest. Lin Moyu knew that once it digested and absorbed these materials, it would likely recover completely. This time, there were more than 20 origin crystals, including 6 fifth-level origin crystals. Although these origin crystals were not world-class origins like those in the Great World, their quality was still good, comparable to what Lin Moyu himself could fuse. The fish bone, though different in shape from the previous one, was equally smooth and jade-like. Lin Moyu still couldn't understand the patterns on it, but he had already witnessed its power. When activated, the fish bone could stir space, repelling or even killing nearby beings. However, it was clear that the scarlet enchantment coral had only utilized a negligible fraction of the fish bone's power, possibly less than 1,000th. Lin Moyu could sense that the power contained within the fish bone was incredibly strong and terrifying. If fully unleashed, it could definitely kill a celestial sovereign instantly. After all, this was something even the king of the realm sea desired, so it couldn't be a simple item. Lin Moyu didn't bother to study it further and simply put the fish bone away. Finally, his attention fell on the scarlet enchantment coral. The piece of scarlet enchantment coral, slightly larger than a palm, emitted a dazzling red glow. This light carried a strong allure, capable of evoking the most primal desires within a person. Anyone below the celestial sovereign level would fall into an illusion just by looking at it. After gaining intelligence, the Scarlet Enchantment Coral could further influence people's minds, generating inappropriate thoughts. This reminded Lin Moyu of the Star River Lich he had once summoned, whose ability was to create illusions and trap enemies. However, the Star River Lich's ability was not as potent as the Scarlet Enchantment Coral's. Its illusions were too deliberate and could be resisted by a strong Dao heart. In contrast, the Scarlet Enchantment Coral directly influenced the soul, appearing as if there were no illusions, but in reality, it was more terrifying than any illusion. Lin Moyu summoned the Star River Lich, which he hadn't used in years, and placed the Scarlet Enchantment Coral before it. Can you absorb it? The characteristic of an elemental lich is that it can absorb high-grade materials to grow. The Buddha Kingdom Lich had already proven this by absorbing the Golden Lotus and growing to the peak supreme level. The Star River Lich had also contributed in the past, and if it could absorb and grow, Lin Moyu didn't want to summon a new elemental lich. The Star River Lich, with a confused look, flew to the Scarlet Enchantment Coral and stuck to it. Its entire body began to glow, and the Scarlet Enchantment Coral gradually melted in the light, merging with it. It can indeed. Lin Moyu smiled, feeling a bit excited. I wonder what it will become. At this moment, a massive vortex appeared in the ocean, drawing in the waters of the Realm Sea at an astonishing speed. The water level was rapidly dropping. The vortex appeared precisely where the Scarlet Enchantment Coral had been. When the Scarlet Enchantment Coral was alive, the island it had evolved blocked this gap. Now that it was dead, the gap was exposed. The vortex siphoned the Realm Sea's water at a rapid pace. At this rate, the entire ocean would disappear within a day. Lin Moyu was not in a hurry. He watched the vortex calmly, waiting for the ocean to disappear. The Star River Lich absorbed the Scarlet Enchantment Coral, its entire body cloaked in a layer of bright red, transforming into a beautiful red doll. Its aura grew stronger, quickly breaking through to the supreme level. It then continued to ascend, breaking through to the peak supreme level. But this was not its limit. After staying at the peak supreme level for a few hours, its aura grew stronger again. Accompanied by a blinding red light, it broke through the supreme level, reaching the low-level celestial sovereign level, matching the level of the brocade-clad witch. This indicated that the Scarlet Enchantment Coral's level was not much different from Kei Jun's treasure rogue. In the celestial sovereign realm, it could be considered mid-tier. The newly born lich, clad in a red robe, circled around Lin Moyu, looking very happy. It was only palm-sized, appearing extremely cute. Lin Moyu also received its information simultaneously. Star Enchantment Lich Realm, low-level celestial sovereign grade, perfect growth limit, none spells. Star Enchantment, illusion of the Great Doubt. Star Enchantment can influence the soul, evoking the most primal desires, trapping people in illusions from which they cannot extricate themselves. The illusion can be controlled by the master's will. Illusion of the Great Doubt utilizes the power of the Great Doubt to trap the soul in an endless illusion. If unable to escape, the soul will be trapped to death. The effect of the illusion of the Great Doubt is influenced by various conditions and can affect up to high-level celestial sovereigns. The Star River Lich had changed its name to Star Enchantment Lich. Its realm had reached the low-level celestial sovereign, possessing two abilities. Star Enchantment was an illusion spell that directly influenced the soul, not only evoking desires but also creating soul-level illusions that the master could control. The illusion of the Great Tao was even more formidable, forcibly dragging the opponent's soul into an illusion. Once inside, escaping would be difficult. Though it appeared to be an illusion spell, it was actually a lethal technique, killing invisibly and extremely terrifying. However, this spell was also influenced by various factors, such as the opponent's soul realm, artifacts, and Tao heart. Currently, the highest level it could affect was high-level celestial sovereigns. In Lin Moyu's view, the Star Enchantment Lich was already very powerful. His spells were truly formidable, with no useless spells. The elemental lich he hadn't used in years now demonstrated astonishing power. Lin Moyu put away the Star Enchantment Lich and continued watching the vortex. The ocean had already dropped by more than half, and in a little more than half a day, the ocean in this space would be completely drained. The vortex was huge, leading to an unknown destination. Lin Moyu planned to wait until the ocean was completely drained before deciding whether to go down. If it was too dangerous below, he might choose to give up. His recent experiences had all indicated that this special space was very dangerous. Low-level celestial sovereigns could die at any moment, and mid-level celestial sovereigns could also die if they were not careful. The Realm Sea token might not necessarily save his life, so caution was paramount. Half a day later, the ocean was finally drained, revealing the pitch-black ground beneath. Lin Moyu was seeing the ground beneath the realm sea for the first time. The water of the realm sea contained immense power, and under its impact, the ground appeared very solid. After the water was drained, the ground began to tremble, and countless cracks appeared on the seemingly solid black ground. Powerful suction forces emerged from the cracks. Along with the cracks, massive suction forces twisted the space, causing cracks to appear. These space cracks, carrying immense power, were terrifyingly deadly upon contact. Not good. Lin Moyu's soul sent out a danger warning. He took out the Realm Sea token, ready to leave. The Realm Sea token activated, emitting a ball of light. Just as the light ball formed, the entire space shattered in an instant, tearing Lin Moyu's body and the newly formed light ball to pieces. Chapter 2445, 2445. Chapter 2445. Crabs, strange fish, and a dangerous world. Purple light flickered, and Lin Moyu's shattered body was restored to its original state. After being resurrected, Lin Moyu was still in shock. His newly acquired talent had saved him once again. Reflecting on the recent experience was truly unbearable. The feeling of being torn to pieces without any resistance was extremely unpleasant. Lin Moyu realized that the Realm Sea token could not absolutely guarantee his safety. Under the force just now, even the light ball of the Realm Sea token was torn to pieces. Looking around, Lin Moyu found himself amidst a cluster of reefs, with the faint sound of the ocean in the distance. The Realm Sea token was not far from him, and Lin Moyu immediately picked it up. Holding the Realm Sea token, Lin Moyu's eyes flickered. This place is too dangerous. I should go back. I already have 2 fish bones in hand. Returning now would still be a success, and I can exchange them for some treasures. I have obtained spiritual materials and origin crystals. This trip is not a loss. After much consideration, Lin Moyu decided to return first. He did not want to get involved in this muddy water. No matter what good things might be ahead, they were not something he should touch for now. Lin Moyu activated the Realm Sea token, intending to return. However, the Realm Sea token did not work. There was no response. Lin Moyu's face turned grim. The Realm Sea token has already been activated once and needs some time before it can be used again. He had just activated the Realm Sea token, and now he needed to wait a while before it could be activated again. The exact waiting time was uncertain. Lin Moyu sensed the recovery speed of the Realm Sea token and calculated that it would take about 10 days for it to be usable again. With a bit of helplessness, he thought, no choice, since I'm here, I might as well stay. This space had a faint oppressive feeling, making him feel unsafe, so he decided to stay put. He planned to wait for 10 days and then leave using the Realm Sea token. Although cultivators should be brave and forge ahead, they should not do so blindly, or they would face death and destruction. True cultivators must understand when to advance and when to retreat. Advancing when necessary, even at the risk of life and death, is essential. However, when it is time to retreat, one must not hesitate, as a wrong choice could also lead to death and destruction. Lin Moyu did not know if his choice was right or wrong, but he trusted his soul, which told him this place was very dangerous. Lin Moyu concealed his aura and blended into the chaotic reefs, becoming as still as one of them. The sound of waves echoed, and suddenly, the sound of crawling reached his ears. Following the sound, Lin Moyu saw the source, large crabs. The crabs had peculiar patterns on their bodies, somewhat similar to the patterns on the fish bones but much fainter and weaker. These crabs were about a meter in size, with a pair of huge pincers. The pincers gleamed sharply, and if a reef blocked their path, they would either smash it with their pincers or crush it into pieces. Regardless of the method, the crabs never changed direction for them. Detours did not exist. The reefs here had endured countless years of the Realm Sea's impact and were extremely sturdy. However, in front of the crabs' pincers, they were no stronger than tofu. Lin Moyu could imagine that if those pincers landed on him, he would fare no better than the reefs. Seeing the crabs getting closer, Lin Moyu felt a bit helpless. Some things could not be avoided just by wanting to. Just as he was about to take action, the reef exploded, and several scaly strange fish rushed out from beneath the reef, attacking the crabs. The strange fish had a claw under their belly, which was strong enough to grab the crabs and stuff them into their mouths. The sharp teeth crushed the crabs like cookies. The pincers of the crabs, which Lin Moyu had thought were incredibly powerful, clashed with the strange fish's scales, producing metallic sounds but failing to break the scales. The strength of these scales was beyond imagination. The crabs were not entirely powerless. Lin Moyu noticed that the thinnest of the crabs, 10 legs, was incredibly sharp, capable of piercing the strange fish's scales. The crabs quickly reacted to the ambush and began to fight the strange fish. The terrifying power of their battle sent many reefs flying. Lin Moyu took the opportunity to hide his aura and, along with the flying reefs, moved away from the dangerous area. Whether it was the strange fish or the crabs, he could not afford to provoke them. They were like powerful lords, each one no weaker than a high-level celestial sovereign. Watching a group of high-level celestial sovereigns fighting to the death, Lin Moyu, a peak supreme, would be courting death if he joined in. Lin Moyu stayed far away, sensing that this space seemed unusual. Although the battle between the two sides was intense, the aftermath was always contained within a 10,000-meter radius. There was an invisible force in this space that suppressed their destructive power. Lin Moyu had noticed this since he first entered. The suppression was weak at first but grew stronger as he delved deeper. Based on his observations, if this space were circular, he was now closer to the center than before. The closer to the center, the stronger the space's suppression. Lin Moyu originally planned to quietly wait out the 10 days, but it seemed difficult now. He silently released the brocade-clad witch, activating the brocade night walk to observe the space. The brocade-clad witch ascended to 1,000 meters high, looking down. Lin Moyu realized that he was on a peninsula. Beyond the peninsula was an endless continent, and he was on the edge of this continent. Beyond the continent was an endless ocean, the ocean being the realm sea, surging and roaring. Suddenly, a gust of wind blew past the brocade-clad witch, severing their connection, and the brocade-clad witch died in the wind. Lin Moyu was stunned. The brocade-clad witch was dead. How did it die? Lin Moyu could not understand. It was just a gust of wind, and the brocade-clad witch died. Lin Moyu could not comprehend how it died. There was no sign of an attack. Opening the eye of the undead, Lin Moyu looked at the sky but saw nothing. Not seeing danger did not mean there was no danger. The death of the brocade-clad witch was a fact, and it did not even have a chance to use the protection of the Great Tao. Such a sudden death made Lin Moyu even more cautious. My feeling was right. This space is extremely dangerous, and some dangers are unpredictable. Fortunately, the brocade-clad witch will not truly die and can be resurrected soon. There are still 9 days left. Once I get through these 9 days, I will leave immediately. He could not stay here for long. Every minute longer could lead to unforeseen dangers. Even with his newly acquired talent, Lin Moyu was not sure he could survive. Under the eye of the undead, Lin Moyu saw the strange fish and crabs still fiercely fighting, their powerful souls clashing constantly. Suddenly, he saw several soul fires hidden on the other side of the battlefield. There were 5 soul fires in total, representing 5 people. 4 were mid-level celestial sovereigns, and 1 was a high-level celestial sovereign. Someone else is hiding there like me. It seems they have been here for a while, which means they might have already noticed my presence. Lin Moyu did not know who they were or if they had discovered him, but he knew he could not take the risk. Although he could leave, the continent behind him was also unsafe. Compared to facing unknown dangers, it was better to stay here. At this moment, a strange fish was killed, and its body exploded before death, releasing a surge of origin energy, and an origin crystal fell out. Chapter 2446, 2446. Chapter 2446. Kill all the Lin family geniuses. Lin Moyu saw clearly that what fell out was actually a 5th-level origin crystal. He knew that on the origin continent, the value of a 5th-level origin crystal was already quite high. Celestial sovereigns often fought fiercely over a single 5th-level origin crystal. These people must be here for the origin crystals, he thought. If they know that strange fish drop origin crystals upon death, they must have witnessed such battles more than once, which also means they must have discovered me long ago. Regardless of whether they have hostile intentions, I must strike first to gain the upper hand, Lin Moyu decided after some thought. The battle between the crabs and the strange fish lasted for more than half an hour and finally ended with the victory of the strange fish. The crabs quickly retreated back to the realm sea, and the strange fish pursued them, also entering the realm sea. As they left, Lin Moyu shot out. The few mid-level celestial sovereigns hiding on the opposite side also moved. They rushed towards the origin crystal, which was not Lin Moyu's target. Lin Moyu's goal was the flesh and blood left behind by the strange fish and the crabs during the battle. The 4 mid-level celestial sovereigns wanted the origin crystal. Lin Moyu finally saw clearly that these 4 mid-level celestial sovereigns were all from the demon race. Judging by their appearance, they seemed to belong to the golden monkey lineage of the demon race. Since their goals were different, Lin Moyu rushed into the battlefield and immediately began collecting the flesh and blood left behind by the strange fish and crabs. During the recent battle, 2 strange fish had died, leaving behind flesh and blood. 10 crabs had died, most of them eaten clean, but a few remnants were left. Lin Moyu moved quickly and collected 5 portions of flesh and blood in total. With these 5 portions of flesh and blood, he felt confident. With these 5 portions of flesh and blood, I can kill even 5 high-level celestial sovereigns, let alone mid-level ones. While he was collecting the flesh and blood, the 4 golden monkey celestial sovereigns also obtained the 5th level origin crystal. They all smiled at Lin Moyu, but their smiles were filled with killing intent. It's you, what a coincidence. Unexpectedly, the mark we left on you before has disappeared. We thought you were lucky to escape, but we didn't expect to meet you here. Should we say it's our good luck or your bad luck? But since you've survived until now, your luck shouldn't be bad. However, your good luck ends here. The 4 of them spoke one after another, not stopping. Lin Moyu remained calm and composed. Are you done talking? The golden monkey celestial sovereigns laughed loudly, in such a hurry to die. Lin Moyu snorted softly, spread his wings of the undead, and flew away at an astonishing speed. Chase him, he's trying to escape. One of the golden monkey celestial sovereigns roared, and they all pursued Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu fled in the direction where the high-level celestial sovereign was hiding. He recognized this high-level celestial sovereign, who had also marked him before. This person was the only high-level celestial sovereign among the human race who wanted to kill him. Lin Moyu didn't know why this person wanted to kill him, as he didn't know him at all. But regardless, the killing intent was unmistakable. Moreover, the high-level celestial sovereign hadn't acted before, probably wanting to watch the 4 golden monkey celestial sovereigns kill him. If Lin Moyu tried to escape, the high-level celestial sovereign would definitely intervene. Since that was the case, Lin Moyu decided to flee towards his location and force him to come out. Lin Moyu's plan worked. His actions immediately provoked a reaction from the high-level celestial sovereign. The aura of a high-level celestial sovereign surged, blocking Lin Moyu's path. Lin Moyu saw him clearly. It was indeed the one who had marked him before. However, Lin Moyu didn't show it and instead looked delighted. Senior, save me. The 4 golden monkey celestial sovereigns' expressions changed simultaneously. Damn, it's a high-level celestial sovereign of the human race. Run! The high-level celestial sovereign snorted coldly, and a giant hand descended from the sky, slapping down on the 4 golden monkey celestial sovereigns. They screamed and scattered in all directions. The giant hand suddenly turned, its speed increasing instantly, and grabbed one of them. With a bang, the golden monkey celestial sovereign was crushed, and his belongings scattered. A light flew out, and the golden monkey celestial sovereign reappeared 100 miles away, having escaped this calamity with the help of a treasure. The giant hand didn't pursue but instead grabbed an origin crystal and brought it back. This origin crystal was the one the golden monkey celestial sovereigns had obtained earlier. The 4 of them didn't dare to stay and fled quickly. Keeping their lives was already fortunate. They didn't dare to think about the origin crystal anymore. Lin Moyu looked at him and praised without hesitation. Senior, you're mighty. Thank you for saving me. May I know your esteemed name? After putting away the origin crystal, he said in a deep voice, I am called Hong Guang. Lin Moyu immediately called out, so it's Celestial Sovereign Hong Guang. I will remember your kindness in saving me. If I have the chance in the future, I will repay you. Hong Guang's eyes narrowed slightly, watching Lin Moyu's expression closely. He said in a low voice, You've never heard of me? Lin Moyu replied, This is the first time I've heard of you, senior. Hong Guang frowned, You're not from the Lin family of Duanya City in the southern continent. Lin Moyu shook his head, Duanya City Lin family. I'm not from there. Hong Guang's gaze swept over Lin Moyu, as if trying to determine if he was telling the truth. Lin Moyu appeared calm, but his mind was racing. Lin Moyu thought that Hong Guang might want to kill him because of his surname. Perhaps Hong Guang had a grudge against the Lin family of Duanya City and wanted to kill him upon hearing his surname. Hong Guang said, The Lin family of Duanya City is a large family with influence across most of the southern continent, with countless branches. I heard that 1,000 years ago, the Lin family produced an extraordinary genius. I don't know if it's you, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But you have the surname Lin and are a top genius. Quote. As he spoke, His killing intent gradually rose. Lin Moyu knew that Hong Guang intended to kill him just in case. He was now certain that Hong Guang had a deep-seated grudge against the Lin family of Duanya City. This was why he wanted to kill every top genius with the surname Lin he encountered. For Hong Guang, there was nothing wrong with this approach. Lin Moyu said softly, "Senior, I'm really not from the Lin family." Hong Guang shook his head lightly, "It doesn't matter anymore. If you have any last words, say them now." His killing intent had been aroused and could no longer be changed. Lin Moyu sighed, "Senior, with your strength, you can see through causality and know that I am not from the Lin family." Hong Guang replied, "To avoid being hunted, I severed all causality long ago." Lin Moyu's heart sank. Severing all causality meant there was no way out. Lin Moyu stopped trying to persuade him and sighed, "Senior, I know you have a grudge against the Lin family and want to kill all geniuses with the surname Lin, but have you ever thought that you can't kill them all?" Hong Guang said, "The origin continent is vast, and there are many geniuses with the surname Lin. All I can do is kill everyone I see. Only then will my Tao heart be smooth, and I will have a chance to destroy the Lin family in the future." Lin Moyu sighed, "You won't have that chance." As he spoke, he extended his hand, and the bone hell automatically appeared, enveloping Hong Guang. Since he had to fight, he would strike first. The flying fish followed the bone hell, attacking Hong Guang together. Hong Guang said, "It's useless." He lightly slapped his hand, and the bone hell shattered, sending the flying fish into the ocean. Chapter 2447, 2447. Chapter 2447, almost capsized again. Lin Moyu had witnessed the power of a high-level celestial sovereign. Previously, he thought the crabs and strange fish were already strong enough, but compared to celestial sovereign Hong Guang, they were far inferior. From Hong Guang's actions, it was clear that he was a very cautious person. Despite coveting the origin crystals and having the power to suppress the strange fish and crabs, he did not take action, preferring to watch them kill each other. If he had acted, he might have obtained more origin crystals. He had also discovered Lin Moyu long ago but did not act, waiting for the 4 golden monkey celestial sovereigns to kill Lin Moyu. He wanted to be the mantis stalking the cicada, unaware of the oriole behind, until Lin Moyu forced him out, leaving him no choice but to act. Hong Guang had a deep hatred for the Lin family, willing to kill mistakenly rather than let anyone go. Hong Guang said, "Don't waste your efforts. If you have no last words, then die." Lin Moyu sighed, "All right, then let's die." A broken crab leg appeared in his hand and turned to ash with a flick. Spell. Corpse explosion. Boom. With a loud noise, Hong Guang's face changed drastically, and he was blasted away by a powerful force. His rule world automatically activated, sharing the damage for him. Hong Guang's rule world was very eerie, as if countless wrong souls were wailing within, creating a ghostly howl. "Lin family, you destroyed my entire clan, you will die a horrible death. Lin family of Duanya City, I won't spare you even as a ghost. I swear to become the fiercest evil spirit and take revenge on your Lin family." The screams echoed, and waves of resentment surged into Lin Moyu's soul world. The world tree scattered clear energy, and the 10-colored dragon soul crystal emitted dragon roars, helping Lin Moyu resist the soul impact. "Bastard!" Hong Guang roared, shaking the heavens. Lin Moyu's sudden attack had not been easy for him to endure. He was not dead, his strength was too great, and with the help of his rule world, he had blocked the attack. Lin Moyu had anticipated this and was not surprised. The star enchantment lich flew out, and a drop of ancestral water fell on it. In an instant, red light covered the sky, and the red robe on the star enchantment lich turned into a large red cloak, enveloping the surroundings. Hong Guang roared, "Ancestral water, you actually have ancestral water, you are indeed from the Lin family. Die!" He roared and charged, countless giant palms tearing through space and shredding Lin Moyu to pieces. After killing Lin Moyu, Hong Guang laughed maniacally, "Die, die, all Lin family members must die, no matter which Lin family you belong to, all with the surname Lin must die." He looked insane, completely mad. Suddenly, he saw Lin Moyu, who had clearly been killed, reappear not far away. He attacked again, tearing Lin Moyu to pieces. But Lin Moyu still did not die, no matter how many times he was killed. "Impossible, impossible, why can't you die, why can't you die?" Hong Guang became increasingly frantic, like a madman. Lin Moyu stood on a distant reef, watching the crazed Hong Guang and sighed, "He's truly gone mad." I don't know how you reached the high-level celestial sovereign, your Tao heart has long collapsed. Your rule world is full of resentment, and your soul has long been covered by it. For you, the path of cultivation has come to an end. What a pity. Han Guang, influenced by the star enchantment lich, fell into an illusion, seeing and feeling only hallucinations. Originally, the star enchantment lich's ability, even with the illusion of the great Tao and ancestral water, could not truly trap a high-level celestial sovereign in an illusion. But Han Guang, tormented by resentment daily, had a soul filled with it, leaving little rationality. As a result, the star enchantment lich's illusion of the great Tao could trap him in an inescapable illusion. Lin Moyu pointed at Han Guang, and a piece of strange fish flesh turned to ash. Boom! With an explosion, Han Guang was blasted away again, his rule world continuing to share the damage. However, this time, it was much worse than before, with numerous cracks appearing in his rule world. Han Guang was injured but became even more frenzied, showing no signs of clarity. In his eyes, Lin Moyu had used some despicable means to injure him. Really hard to kill. But this is good. The harder you are to kill, the stronger you will be as a resurrected being. Boom! Lin Moyu took out the remaining 3 pieces of flesh and detonated them all at once. Boom! 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 The explosions almost simultaneously shattered the rule world, and black resentment surged out, dispersing around. Han Guang finally quieted down, lying on the ground with eyes full of unwillingness. Before dying, he regained some rationality. His entire body was blasted beyond recognition, not only his flesh but also his soul. His breath was extremely weak, and he murmured, "Lin family, how did you do it?" Lin Moyu shook his head. "First of all, I am not from the Lin family you mentioned, I have no connection with the Lin family of the origin continent." Han Guang clearly did not believe, gritting his teeth, "Your surname is Lin." Lin Moyu said, "Believe it or not, now you are dying, do you have any last words? Maybe I can help you fulfill them when I go to the origin continent someday." Han Guang looked at Lin Moyu and trembled, "None." Lin Moyu frowned, "If you don't want to say, that's fine, let me send you off." Han Guang sneered, "You are not qualified to send me off." As he spoke, a powerful force surged from his body, and the power of origin turned into flames, burning his soul. Self-destruction, Lin Moyu shouted angrily and quickly retreated. He retreated fast, but the power of self-destruction was faster. With a roar, Han Guang's body exploded, shattering into pieces. Lin Moyu was also blown to pieces in the self-destruction, along with the newly emerged star enchantment lich. Purple light flickered, and Lin Moyu resurrected with new life. "Really troublesome, I didn't expect him to self-destruct before dying. Fortunately, I have the talent of new life, otherwise, I would have died." High-level celestial sovereigns can't be underestimated. Someone like Han Guang will always find a way to take others down with them. Lin Moyu admitted that he had been careless, thinking that with the rule world destroyed, Han Guang had no strength to fight back, not expecting him to have the power of origin to detonate. He released a ball of undying flame on the ground. Although Han Guang's body was gone, there was still a lot of blood scattered around. In the undying flame, the blood gathered and began to regenerate. Flesh regrew, and the soul reformed. Lin Moyu watched. The mysterious master said that when the undying golden body is refined to the extreme, one can regenerate from a drop of blood, making it very hard to kill. I wonder if the undying golden body at the celestial sovereign level is enough. If it has this ability, it would be much safer. Han Guang regenerated from a drop of blood in the undying flame, becoming a resurrected being. He looked at Lin Moyu with a complex expression, seemingly wanting to struggle, but under the suppression of the spell, his eyes gradually became devout, and finally, he knelt respectfully before Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu looked at him, the flames of gossip burning brightly. "Tell me, what exactly happened between you and the Lin family of Duanya City?" Chapter 2448, 2448. Chapter 2448. A dangerous world. Han Guang celestial sovereign's real name was Cheng Han Guang, a regular member of the Cheng family in Duanya City. Years ago, the Cheng family unexpectedly acquired a treasure, and the Lin family found out and came to forcefully buy it. The Lin family of Duanya City was very powerful, and the Cheng family had no choice but to comply and sell the treasure to the Lin family. In the origin continent, the law of the jungle is starkly evident, where everything is dictated by power. Originally, the matter ended there. Although the Cheng family lost the treasure, they received some compensation and had to swallow their pride due to their weaker position. However, on the night of the transaction, the Lin family returned and massacred the entire Cheng family. At that time, Cheng Hongguang was not at home and narrowly escaped. He was just a minor supreme and didn't dare return to the Cheng family, fearing that the Lin family might have left someone behind to eliminate any survivors. Using a karmic treasure he had obtained during an adventure, he severed all ties with the Lin family, breaking his bloodline connection so the Lin family couldn't track him through it. This made him safe, but it also meant he couldn't identify who was connected to the Lin family through karma. Given that there were many people with the surname Lin, he decided that all geniuses with the surname Lin were his enemies. Later, he became a celestial sovereign and secretly returned to the Cheng family, only to find it still desolate. It seemed that out of fear of the Lin family, no one dared to occupy the former Cheng family territory. The Cheng family grounds were filled with resentment and restless spirits. Cheng Hongguang absorbed all this resentment into his rule world and began his path of revenge. Over the years, he killed many cultivators with the surname Lin, regardless of whether they were from the Lin family, as long as they had the surname Lin and showed significant cultivation talent. His principle was to kill rather than let any go. Lin Moyu sighed after hearing this. The principle of, better to kill mistakenly than let go, made it hard to say who was right or wrong. However, he knew that Cheng Hongguang was trapped in his obsession, and without a significant opportunity, he would never break through to Dao Sovereign. Without reaching Dao Sovereign, seeking revenge against the Lin family was a fantasy. Even if he became a Dao Sovereign, it would be difficult to contend with a behemoth like the Lin family. The Lin family, standing strong for millions of years, had unimaginable foundations and likely had Dao Sovereigns among them. Lin Moyu said, "All right, you don't need to seek revenge anymore. The feud between the Lin and Cheng families ends here. As you said, the Lin family is so domineering that they might be destroyed by someone someday. They are strong, but not the strongest." Indeed, the feud had ended. Cheng Hongguang had become a resurrected being, now Lin Moyu's subordinate, and could no longer seek revenge against the Lin family. The Lin family had many enemies, and it was possible they might be wiped out someday. Karma is a complex matter, and who can truly understand it? For Lin Moyu, this battle was over, and it was time to reap the rewards. Cheng Hongguang's storage ring became Lin Moyu's spoils. After examining it, Lin Moyu couldn't help but smile. As a high-level celestial sovereign, Cheng Hongguang had many valuable items. There were over 100 origin crystals, mostly first and second level, with a few fourth and fifth level ones. Besides that, there were various materials, though they seemed ordinary. Most importantly, there were 2 fish bones. Cheng Hongguang had obtained 2 fish bones, which wasn't surprising given his strength, but now they became Lin Moyu's spoils. Lin Moyu didn't find the Realm Sea token in the storage ring. He recalled that the Realm Sea token seemed to have disappeared when Cheng Hongguang died. From Cheng Hongguang's account, Lin Moyu understood the situation in this space. The sky here had a peculiar wind that could kill invisibly. Even Cheng Hongguang would be injured if touched by this wind. Therefore, flying was not an option here. The land also seemed dangerous, but neither Cheng Hongguang nor Lin Moyu had explored it much due to their short time here. Lin Moyu's decision remained unchanged. He still didn't want to explore and decided to wait here until the Realm Sea token recovered, then leave. As the sky gradually darkened, resembling nightfall, the sound of waves grew more urgent. Lin Moyu noticed the waves changing, becoming more rapid and powerful. Boom! With a roar, a huge wave crashed onto the reef, shattering it instantly. Lin Moyu's expression changed slightly. The power of the waves had increased significantly. One wave shattered countless reefs. The force was comparable to a high-level celestial sovereign's strike. Something's wrong. If the waves were always this powerful, the reefs would have been flattened long ago. But there are still many reefs here. Looking at the scattered reefs, Lin Moyu felt something was off. Moments later, another roar sounded, and a towering wave, tens of thousands of meters high, rose from the ocean, covering the sky as it approached. Damn! Lin Moyu exclaimed and ran inland without hesitation. The wave carried countless rocks, falling like rain. Lin Moyu finally understood why there were so many reefs. The waves shattered some and brought new ones. He didn't want to test his body's strength with the reefs, so he chose to flee. He quickly escaped tens of thousands of meters inland, away from the shore, and finally breathed a sigh of relief. The wave crashed down, bringing rocks that smashed onto the shore. The ground shook, and the roaring continued. An invisible shockwave swept across Lin Moyu at an astonishing speed. Lin Moyu had no resistance and was sent flying. His undying golden body shattered like paper, and he felt like he had been hit by an ancient beast, his body uncontrollably thrown back. He struggled to stabilize himself, but the force was too great, making it difficult to control his body. At this moment, a gentle breeze blew through his body. His flesh turned to powder in the breeze. The breeze blew into his rule world, trying to extinguish it. The world tree swayed wildly, supporting the rule world. The 10-colored dragon soul crystal also emitted dragon breath, providing power to the rule world. Fortunately, the breeze was brief, lasting only 2 seconds before disappearing. Amidst the powder, purple light flickered, and Lin Moyu's body reformed, resurrecting once again. That was terrifying. Lin Moyu quickly put on his clothes and continued retreating. Rocks fell like meteors, accompanied by the waves, and the shockwaves came one after another. He felt the danger even high-level supremes would struggle in this situation. They might be directly crushed to death. The breeze from the sky was even more terrifying. A light blow almost killed him. Lin Moyu, still shaken, moved further from the shore. The shore was no longer safe. With less than 9 days left, he needed to find a safe place. He had moved 10,000 meters inland, now on a vast grassland. The grass varied in height, some over a meter tall, others less than a palm's height. Looking into the distance, he could vaguely see mountains and forests. The surroundings were somewhat empty, and Lin Moyu instinctively felt that such an open area was unsafe. But going elsewhere also posed risks. As soon as this thought arose, his soul warned him of imminent danger. A powerful aura came from the sky, and a black dot appeared in the distance, rapidly enlarging in his vision. A high-level celestial sovereign eagle. But this eagle looks strange. Lin Moyu thought, quickly crouching and hiding in a patch of grass half a person's height. Chapter 2449, 2449. Chapter 2449, Can't afford to provoke, better to hide. A massive eagle circled in the sky, looking very peculiar to Lin Moyu. It was clearly an eagle but had fish scales. It had wings and sharp claws, but also a fish tail. It looked like a combination of a fish and an eagle, so Lin Moyu aptly named it the fish eagle. The fish eagle ignored the deadly breeze in the sky, continuously circling and occasionally letting out sharp cries. It seemed to be searching for something, and Lin Moyu knew it was looking for prey, though he was not its target. Lin Moyu cautiously used the eye of the undead to take a quick glance. Judging by the intensity of its soul fire, the fish eagle was even stronger than Cheng Hongguang. It could fly in the sky, ignoring the deadly breeze, giving it a significant advantage. Even Cheng Hongguang would stand little chance against it. Lin Moyu only took a quick look, not daring to stare for fear of attracting its attention. He then used the eye of the undead to scan the surroundings and finally saw a soul fire not far away. This soul fire was slightly weaker than the fish eagle's, but still had the strength of a high-level celestial sovereign. Crucially, this soul fire was only 100 meters away, practically right next to him. Looking further, he saw many similar soul fires scattered around. This grassland was indeed unsafe, filled with dangers everywhere. The fish eagle circled for a while and finally locked onto a target. With a piercing scream, it flapped its wings, which expanded infinitely like giant fans, stirring up a boundless wind. The wind seemed to lift the entire grassland, sending countless blades of grass into the sky. Tornadoes formed automatically, transforming the green grassland into a chaotic mess. Lin Moyu felt a bit fortunate that the fish eagle's target was far from him, otherwise, he would not have been able to withstand it. The powerful wind felt like sharp blades cutting into his body, and even his undying golden body was not very effective against such an attack. Lin Moyu knew that if he collided head-on with the tornado, he would be torn to pieces. Roars echoed in his ears, and through the eye of the undead, he saw countless high-level celestial sovereigns suddenly erupting from the grassland. Giant pythons emerged, each with 8 pairs of small wings on their backs and 8 pairs of sharp claws beneath them. Although they looked like pythons, they had fish mouths and tails, as if everything in this world was related to the realm sea. The fish-shaped pythons shot out like arrows, attacking the fish eagle in groups of 20. Lin Moyu suddenly understood that not only did the fish eagle want to hunt them, but they also wanted to hunt the fish eagle. This was a two-way hunt, and it was hard to say who the prey was. The fish eagle screamed and soared into the sky, leaving only an afterimage, which was torn apart by the pythons. The fish eagle dodged the attack and continued to circle high above, stirring up more wind. It flew higher than the pythons could reach, as they could only fall back after a certain height, unable to stay airborne. Lin Moyu guessed that the deadly breeze posed a threat to the pythons. The pythons spewed out a foul yellow gas, forming a thick yellow fog that obscured the fish eagle's vision. Lin Moyu noticed that the fog was highly toxic, quickly corroding the grassland into liquid. The fish eagle used the wind to disperse the fog while continuously screaming. More black dots appeared in the distant sky, rapidly approaching with the wind. Each black dot was a fish eagle. The original hunt was quickly turning into a massive battle. Lin Moyu knew that with many pythons still hidden in the grassland, the scale of this battle could expand to cover the entire grassland, making it impossible for him to hide. Go, I must leave. Lin Moyu had only one thought: to get away from this dangerous place. If it were a small-scale battle, he might have stayed to watch and possibly take advantage. But now, he knew he couldn't stay. The battle could engulf the entire grassland, and he had to leave. However, with his strength, leaving quietly was nearly impossible. If he were noticed, the consequences would be dire. Even if the brocade-clad which were still around, using the Great Tao's protection would be futile. I need to find an opportunity. Lin Moyu's eyes became sharp as he searched for a chance to escape. The arrival of the fish eagles marked the start of the battle, with countless tornadoes forming on the grassland, connecting heaven and earth in a terrifying display. The storm raged, tearing the grassland apart. The pythons and fish eagles clashed, killing each other. Through the eye of the undead, Lin Moyu saw more pythons awakening, silently approaching to deliver a fatal blow to the fish eagles. The fish eagles also noticed this and screamed in alarm. Taking advantage of the fierce battle, Lin Moyu made his move. Go! Cheng Hongguang appeared beside him, enveloping Lin Moyu in an invisible force and taking him away. As a high-level celestial sovereign, Cheng Hongguang was much faster than Lin Moyu, and his protection ensured Lin Moyu's safety. They moved quickly across the grassland, trying not to attract attention. Lin Moyu hoped not to be noticed by the pythons and fish eagles, as even Cheng Hongguang might not be able to protect him then. They skirted the battlefield, avoiding hidden pythons, and gradually moved away from the grassland. The distant mountains and forests grew larger in their view, and Lin Moyu felt relieved as he moved further from the battlefield. However, he did not dare to relax. Suddenly, a sharp cry from the sky made Lin Moyu's hair stand on end. He felt he was being targeted. A fish eagle swooped down from high above, heading straight for him. Its wings flapped, sending countless wind blades like sharp knives towards him. The grassland ahead exploded, revealing a giant python blocking Lin Moyu's path. The python opened its mouth, ready to spew yellow fog. Lin Moyu ordered Cheng Hongguang, ignore them, go. At the same time, he summoned the Star Enchantment Lich, activating the illusion of the Great Tao. The python's eyes glazed over. It had locked onto Lin Moyu but suddenly turned to attack the fish eagle, spewing yellow fog. The Star Enchantment Lich had influenced its mind, making it ignore Lin Moyu and attack the fish eagle instead. The fish eagle screamed, using the wind to disperse the fog. The next moment, the python leapt up to fight the fish eagle. The fish eagle shifted its focus from Lin Moyu to the python, engaging in a fierce battle. Seizing the opportunity, Lin Moyu had Cheng Hongguang speed up, using the Eye of the Undead to avoid hidden pythons and leave the grassland. The battle between the fish eagles and pythons continued, expanding to cover the entire grassland. After several detours, Lin Moyu finally left the grassland safely. He encountered more pythons along the way, but the Star Enchantment Lich managed to neutralize them. These pythons were powerful but lacked intelligence, relying more on instinct, making them susceptible to the Star Enchantment Lich's influence. As he moved away from the battlefield, Lin Moyu felt increasingly puzzled. These high-level celestial sovereigns had only weak intelligence, which was highly unusual. Moreover, they had no rule world, relying purely on strength to reach the high-level celestial sovereign realm. Lin Moyu occasionally wondered if the rule world was truly necessary. Perhaps there were multiple paths in cultivation. Chapter 2450, 2450. Chapter 2450. Gaining some benefits, a peculiar sound on the grassland, poisonous fog spread, and fierce winds swept through. The fish eagles and giant pythons fought to the point of madness. If it weren't for the unique nature of this space, a battle between high-level celestial sovereigns in the Great World would be enough to destroy countless star systems. Watching the distant battle, Lin Moyu pondered. The essence of cultivation is to make oneself stronger, and there are countless paths to becoming stronger. Understanding laws and evolving a rule world is just one path. There should be many other paths to take. The monsters in this space, the powerful beings in the realm C, they lack wisdom, do not understand laws, and have no rule world, yet they can still be very strong. This indicates that they have a path to becoming strong. The question is, how far can this path go? Can it lead to becoming a Dao sovereign? Lin Moyu felt a bit of interest in their path. If given the chance, he wanted to explore the root of their strength. What exactly made them so powerful? Lin Moyu watched the battle from afar, hiding his aura. Behind him was a high mountain, dense with forests, exuding a powerful aura. Lin Moyu did not dare to be careless. This mountain was equally dangerous. The fish eagles came from the mountain, indicating it was their stronghold. Besides fish eagles, there must be many other dangers. Lin Moyu did not plan to enter immediately. If unnecessary, he didn't even want to go in. He continued to watch the battle on the grassland, hoping to see the final outcome. If he was lucky, he might gain some benefits. The strange fish by the coast dropped origin crystals, so the fish eagles and giant pythons might drop them too. The battle lasted for half a day, with casualties on both sides. Lin Moyu counted carefully. About 8 fish eagles and over 10 pythons had died. However, the pythons outnumbered the fish eagles, so the losses were not significant. As Lin Moyu expected, origin crystals did drop, but they quickly disappeared into the grassland, making them unattainable. Even the corpses were swallowed by the grassland, making it hard for him to obtain them. If he wanted the corpses, he had to find another way. The origin crystals from the fish eagles and pythons were 5th level, but Lin Moyu was more interested in their corpses. He could obtain 5th level origin crystals with some effort, but a high-level celestial sovereign's corpse was a valuable life-saving card for him. Faced with this huge temptation, Lin Moyu's mind raced, devising a plan. Soon, a method emerged in his mind. The Star Enchantment Lich and Cheng Hongguang working together might create an opportunity. Lin Moyu activated the Eye of the Undead, looking at the dense forest behind him. He saw many powerful souls hidden in the forest, each representing a high-level celestial sovereign. These souls were not stationary, some moved around the forest. The number of souls was in the thousands, making Lin Moyu feel like he had left a tiger's den only to enter a wolf's lair. Bracing himself, Lin Moyu found a relatively safe spot amidst the danger and concealed his aura as much as possible. Following his plan, he sent out the Star Enchantment Lich and Cheng Hongguang. Cheng Hongguang moved away, hiding at the edge of the grassland. The Star Enchantment Lich, using its small body, advanced along the grass, with Lin Moyu directing it through the Eye of the Undead. Soon, the Star Enchantment Lich entered the battlefield, targeting a heavily injured python and casting the illusion of the Great Tao. This spell had a unique advantage: it was silent and almost undetectable. It directly affected the soul, influencing the python's consciousness. The python, lacking wisdom, was easily affected by the illusion. The heavily injured python suddenly turned and began to move away from the battlefield, appearing to flee for its life. Its behavior did not attract the attention of other pythons. Only Lin Moyu knew that in the python's vision, it was chasing a fish eagle that had fallen and could no longer fly. The fish eagle was crawling on the grass, barely alive, and the python wanted to catch and eat it. Gradually, the python moved away from the battlefield, reaching Cheng Hongguang's hiding spot. Cheng Hongguang launched a sudden attack, delivering a fatal blow. The already heavily injured python, deep in the illusion, was killed instantly by Cheng Hongguang's sudden attack. Cheng Hongguang then used a pre-prepared ancient containment talisman to store the corpse. The entire process, from the sudden attack to storing the corpse, took less than 2 seconds. After finishing, Cheng Hongguang immediately changed his position and moved away. The Star Enchantment Lich, using the grass as cover, stealthily returned to the battlefield to repeat the process. The next target was a similarly injured fish eagle. The fish eagle saw an illusion of a heavily injured python fleeing and immediately chased after it, only to be killed by the hidden Cheng Hongguang. Time and again, Lin Moyu's actions became more skilled, and the number of corpses in his possession increased. In less than an hour, he had 5 corpses, 3 pythons and 2 fish eagles. However, Lin Moyu knew when to stop and did not continue. With 5 corpses in hand, he no longer feared ordinary high-level celestial sovereigns. He could see that the battle was nearing its end and would soon be over. Both sides would likely end in a draw. He knew that similar battles had probably occurred many times before, with no definitive outcome. Thud! A peculiar sound rang out, like the clinking of jade, not loud but instantly spreading across the entire grassland. The sound carried a unique power, causing Lin Moyu's soul to tremble slightly. When the sound rang out, the battle between the fish eagles and pythons suddenly stopped, abruptly and without warning. The pythons retreated into the grassland, disappearing underground. The fish eagles quickly returned to the mountain, leaving the area clean. Lin Moyu was stunned. This sound is strange. Thud. The knocking sound rang out again, causing Lin Moyu's soul to tremble once more. He suddenly felt that his soul had strengthened slightly after hearing the sound. The magical knocking sound seemed to enhance the soul. Lin Moyu couldn't help but want to listen more, as his soul hadn't strengthened in a long time. His soul had always surpassed his cultivation level, but now his soul and cultivation level were both at the peak supreme level. However, his soul was now growing stronger again, seemingly about to surpass his cultivation level once more. The knocking sound continued, carrying a unique rhythm, and Lin Moyu enjoyed listening to it. What is this? The eye of the undead remained active, and he suddenly noticed something unusual. Under the grassland, soul fires began to appear. These soul fires were very weak, like newborns, not even reaching the super divine level. But as the soul fires appeared, accompanied by the knocking sound, they began to grow stronger rapidly. In just 10 knocks, the souls broke through to the super divine level. The soul fires continued to grow stronger, and the grass on the damaged grassland also began to grow wildly, quickly restoring the grassland to its original state. The knocking sound became more intense, and the soul fires grew stronger. Chapter 2451, 2451. Chapter 2451. The fairness of karma in the heavenly Tao. Lin Moyu's soul also grew stronger with the knocking sound, and he felt that his soul might be about to break through. I'm about to break through to the celestial sovereign level. With my soul reaching the celestial sovereign level, it will pave the way for my advancement. Such a breakthrough seems too easy. I didn't expect to break through here. But, why do I feel something is wrong? Lin Moyu vaguely sensed something was amiss. This breakthrough came too easily. Transitioning from supreme to celestial sovereign is a significant hurdle, and only 1 in 1,000 can succeed. In the great world, there were many supremes, but celestial sovereigns were few and far between. He felt that although his soul was becoming stronger, something seemed to be disappearing. The world tree and the 10-colored dragon soul crystal showed no reaction, as if they hadn't sensed any danger. Something's wrong, definitely wrong. There must be something wrong. Lin Moyu forced himself to calm down, and various scenarios flashed through his mind. He thought of everything that had happened since entering this special space. Thunder and lightning flashed in his soul, countless bolts of lightning appeared and disappeared with his will. Crack! Lin Moyu instantly became clear-headed. No, this thing is harmful. He realized the danger. Although the creatures here were powerful, they lacked wisdom, having only some instincts. Lin Moyu's gaze turned cold. I know the reason. These sounds can strengthen the soul but erase wisdom, leaving only instincts. Trading the foundation for a higher realm is like drinking poison to quench thirst, putting the cart before the horse. Lin Moyu suddenly looked up towards the mountain peak. Using his vision to the extreme, he vaguely saw a huge phantom at the top of the mountain. The sound came from this phantom. In his perception, the knocking sound accumulated together, like a hand continuously elevating the soul's height. As the knocking sound accumulated, the hand's power grew stronger, pushing the soul upwards. While elevating the soul, it also affected wisdom. Whatever it is, get out of my soul. Lin Moyu roared in anger, his soul surged wildly, and the world tree and the 10-colored dragon soul crystal also erupted. The 10-colored dragon soul crystal spewed dragon breath, purifying his soul. Strange substances were expelled from his soul, and Lin Moyu felt his recently elevated soul realm quickly fall back to its original state. As his realm fell, his soul became purer, and his thoughts grew clearer. The greatest function of the 10-colored dragon soul crystal is to purify the soul. With the dragon soul crystal, although it cannot elevate the cultivation realm, it can make the soul purer. Lin Moyu knew that the purer the soul, the more beneficial it is for future development. Especially after reaching the celestial sovereign realm, having the dragon soul crystal makes a significant difference. However, obtaining a dragon soul crystal is not easy even among the dragon race. Not every divine dragon can produce one. The dragon soul crystal is highly valuable, and Lin Moyu's 10-colored dragon soul crystal is unprecedented. At this moment, Lin Moyu finally experienced the wonders of the dragon soul crystal firsthand. His soul was purified by the dragon breath, without a trace of impurity, even purer than before. His thoughts were clearer than ever, and Lin Moyu understood the cause and effect. He realized why the creatures here were so powerful yet lacked wisdom. Their strength came from the knocking sound, but their wisdom was lost because of it. Gain and loss are inevitable. This is the Tao. The Tao is fair, following the law of cause and effect, and there can be no gain without loss. Lin Moyu gave up his gains and stopped paying the price. The knocking sound continued, but Lin Moyu chose to climb the mountain at this moment. He quickly ran towards the mountain peak without any hesitation. He discovered that while the knocking sound continued, all creatures fell into a peculiar state, akin to sleep, ignoring external matters. Lin Moyu took this opportunity to sprint towards the mountain peak. With the eye of the undead activated, he avoided the creatures. Although they wouldn't attack him now, it was better not to touch them, just in case. Lin Moyu also noticed several soul fires moving quickly, each representing a celestial sovereign. It seems I'm not the only smart one, Lin Moyu thought to himself. Although he didn't know who they were, they must be people holding Realm C tokens like him. Lin Moyu never considered himself unique. He believed there were many as smart as him. Climbing towards the mountain peak, his speed was fast, but some were faster. As Lin Moyu was halfway up, dragon roars suddenly erupted from the mountain top. The dragon roars were filled with anger, indicating that the dragons were very agitated. Lin Moyu's heart skipped a beat. The dragons are fighting. Who are the dragons fighting? Those who entered here were either humans, demons, insects, or members of the 100 Herbs Alliance. In the face of interests, anyone could be an enemy. Soon, a sharp, unpleasant sound came from the mountain top, and Lin Moyu immediately knew who the dragons were fighting, the insect race. The dragons and the insect race were engaged in a fierce battle at the mountain top. The battle was extremely intense, with dragon roars and countless boulders rolling down the mountain. The boulders crushed many trees, which would usually provoke the creatures in the forest. But now, with the knocking sound continuing, these creatures remained in a peculiar state, showing no signs of waking up. Crucially, the damaged flowers, plants, and trees were also rapidly recovering with the knocking sound. Lin Moyu quickened his pace up the mountain, unsure when the knocking sound would stop. He wanted to reach the top before it ceased. As he got closer to the peak, the knocking sound became more intense, creating an inexplicable pressure on him. I'm not the only one climbing. There are other celestial sovereigns. The dragons and the insect race are already at the top, fighting each other. Besides their deep-seated hatred, there must be other reasons. The knocking sound comes from the top, and these people must have guessed that there is an extraordinary treasure at the top, which they all want. If one can control this treasure and use it in their world, they will gain a significant advantage in the world competition. Lin Moyu quickly analyzed, deducing the treasure's function from initial observations. He believed the other celestial sovereigns could also deduce the treasure's function, so they wanted it too. Of course, whether they could obtain it depended on their strength. As Lin Moyu reached 2/3 of the way up, the knocking sound began to slow down. It's about to stop. Lin Moyu looked towards the mountain top. Once the knocking sound stopped, the creatures in the forest would wake up, and he would be surrounded. He saw other celestial sovereigns also speeding up, realizing the same thing. However, the space's restrictions made it difficult to increase speed. Some even used secret techniques to accelerate. Lin Moyu's mind moved, and the wings of the undead spread out, carrying him in a low flight towards the mountain top. Each celestial sovereign used their means to speed up the climb. The knocking sound grew slower and lighter, and its influence quickly diminished. Suddenly, a scream echoed. A mid-level celestial sovereign at the back was suddenly attacked, and a soul fire was extinguished on the spot. Chapter 2452, 2452. Chapter 2452. Lin Moyu's flattery. Upon hearing the screams, Lin Moyu's expression changed. The wings of the undead flapped rapidly, accelerating his speed. His soul power was consumed without regard for cost. As long as there was enough soul power, the speed of the wings of the undead could continuously increase without limit. Unfortunately, the space laws here could not be utilized, otherwise, it wouldn't be so troublesome. Another scream echoed. The creatures in the dense forest were awakening, and they seemed to reject all foreign entities. A celestial sovereign was attacked and flew into the air. A gentle breeze blew past, and his body, along with his soul, was silently shattered. The breeze in the air was even more terrifying than the creatures in the forest. Some activated the Realm C token and left under its protection. The screams were like a death knell, urging those in the forest to move quickly or face death. Lin Moyu scanned the forest. Everyone was desperately rushing. He wasn't the fastest, only in the middle of the pack. I should be able to make it. Lin Moyu calculated. Based on the current situation, he should be able to reach the mountain top before the knocking sound stopped. This mountain was peculiar. Only by entering it could one realize its vastness. From the outside, the peak was visible, but once inside, it was a different space altogether. The height of the forest was unimaginable. Otherwise, with the speed of Lin Moyu and the other celestial sovereigns, they would have reached the top long ago. The knocking sound was slowing down, and more people activated the Realm C token to return. Suddenly, the knocking sound ceased. Lin Moyu's face changed drastically. According to his calculations, the knocking sound should have lasted at least another minute. Why did it suddenly stop? This minute was a matter of life and death for him. He felt soul fires rising around him, and several powerful wills locked onto him. These forest creatures, driven by instinctive brutality, exuded a wave of emotionless killing intent. Without hesitation, Lin Moyu unleashed the undying flames, summoning several skeleton kings. Preemptive strikes were crucial, and the skeleton kings charged at the creatures. The rule world rose, and the bone/god was unleashed. Lin Moyu completed a series of operations in an instant, successfully drawing the creatures' attention. The creatures immediately attacked the skeleton kings, killing them on the spot. Lin Moyu knew that the skeleton kings, being low-level celestial sovereigns, couldn't withstand the creatures' attacks. Their purpose was to buy him time. In an instant, dozens of skeleton kings were killed, revealing the true forms of the creatures. Some were common creatures like wolves and dogs but covered in fish scales. There were also mantises with fish scales and even rats taller than humans but with crab-like lower bodies. Each creature was unique but related to the Realm C. Lin Moyu's mind raced, and the skeleton generals flew out. With the skeleton kings present, the skeleton generals inherited their spells, wielding the bone/god. Although the bone/god cast by the skeleton generals wasn't very powerful, it had the advantage of being unavoidable and numerous. The creatures were once again drawn to the skeleton generals and began attacking them. Lin Moyu commanded the skeleton generals to spread out, delaying as much time as possible while he continued to ascend. The skeleton generals loyally executed the orders, continuously attacking the creatures. Lin Moyu seized the opportunity to move, quickly covering the remaining distance and finally reaching the mountain top. The peak was enveloped in a peculiar aura, and Lin Moyu knew that the forest creatures wouldn't follow him here. Indeed, as soon as Lin Moyu reached the peak, all sense of danger receded like a tide. He finally breathed a sigh of relief. I made it. A fragrant breeze wafted by, and a gentle, pleasant voice sounded in his ear. Lin Xiaoyu, I didn't expect to meet you here. What a coincidence. Lin Moyu smiled. Greetings, Senior Lu. Lu Fengyao chuckled. Meeting is fate. No need to call me senior if you don't mind, just call me sister. Lin Moyu didn't hesitate. Thank you, Sister Fengyao. With a change in address, their relationship became much closer. Lu Fengyao laughed. Lin Xiaodi, you're quite interesting. To reach here, you must be very capable. Lin Moyu replied, I was just lucky, unlike you, sister, who got here by strength. Lu Fengyao laughed heartily. I didn't expect Lin Xiaodi to be so good at flattery, but I like it. Lin Moyu knew she didn't genuinely enjoy flattery. High-level celestial sovereigns had firm Dao hearts. Mere flattery meant nothing. She was just giving him face because he had reached here as a supreme. Lu Fengyao saw him in a new light because of this. Lin Moyu looked around. The platform was vast, and the space had expanded countless times. There was wind at the peak, howling, but it wasn't the deadly breeze. On the other side of the platform, Lin Moyu saw several dragons. There had been 10 dragons initially, but now only 7 remained. The whereabouts of the other 3 were unknown. On another side were the insect race members. 5 had come, but only 3 remained, with 2 missing. The dragons glared at the insect race with hatred but didn't make a move. Their battle had stopped the moment the knocking sound ceased. Lin Moyu whispered, Sister Fengyao, do you know what's going on? Lu Fengyao shook her head. I just got here too, so I'm not sure. But I guess it has something to do with the altar in the center. In the center of the platform stood an altar. It seemed empty, but Lin Moyu knew it couldn't be that simple. He had seen a phantom at the mountain top from the foot of the mountain, likely caused by the altar. More people crossed the forest and entered the platform. These people had their means to avoid the forest creatures. Those who made it here were all strong. They looked at Lin Moyu with surprise, whether human or demon. They couldn't understand how a peak supreme had made it here. The dangers along the way were enough to kill Lin Moyu. At the same time, they became wary, knowing Lin Moyu must have unknown means to reach here. The humans looked at him with complex expressions, a mix of envy and jealousy. The demons, however, showed blatant killing intent. The dragons focused on the insect race, ignoring Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu wondered, why hasn't anyone from the 100 Herbs Alliance come? Lu Fengyao casually replied, they're not suited for this place. I guess they've already returned. They were just here for show. Lin Moyu frowned, if that's the case, why did they participate in the Realm Sea Token event? Lu Fengyao laughed, you don't understand. The content of the Realm Sea Token event varies. Sometimes, it doesn't require traveling. When that's the case, the 100 Herbs Alliance can exert great power, even the dragons avoid them. Lin Moyu smiled, Sister Fengyao, have you participated in the Realm Sea Token event before? Lu Fengyao shook her head, this is my first time, but our Chamber of Commerce has information on the Realm Sea Token. If you need it, you can buy it. She then whispered, Lin Xiaodi, be careful. The demons have their eyes on you. Lin Moyu smiled, with Sister Fengyao here, they can't do anything to me. Lu Fengyao was amused, Lin Xiaodi, you have a sweet mouth. I like hearing it, so say more in the future. Chapter 2453, 2453. Chapter 2453, The Altar. The wind of the Tao sovereign Lin Moyu could tell that even among the high-level celestial sovereigns, the delicate-looking Lu Fengyao was top tier. The Changhong Guang he killed earlier was not as powerful as Lu Fengyao. Moreover, Lu Fengyao came from the Lu Feng Chamber of Commerce, a major force on the Origin continent, and surely possessed many powerful artifacts. For high-level celestial sovereigns, possessing one or two powerful artifacts could drastically change their combat capabilities. Changhong Guang, who was poor and lacked decent artifacts, was not much of a threat among high-level celestial sovereigns. With Lu Fengyao present, Lin Moyu thought it was wise to flatter her and borrow her influence. Lu Fengyao gracefully stepped in front of Lin Moyu, smiling, friends from the demon race, if anyone wants to challenge me, feel free to step forward. In fact, I am quite eager to experience the secret techniques of my demon friends. She added, holding a jade bead in her hand. The bead emitted an astonishing aura, with a radiant glow, clearly an extraordinary treasure. The demon celestial sovereigns recognized its value, and one of them growled, a top-grade artifact for celestial sovereigns. Their eyes flickered, but they turned away, not daring to confront Lu Fengyao. Seeing their gritted teeth and helpless expressions, Lin Moyu realized that top-grade artifacts for celestial sovereigns were extremely rare. Even those with strong backgrounds couldn't easily produce such high-grade artifacts, otherwise, Lu Fengyao wouldn't be able to intimidate them. Finally, a celestial sovereign from the three-colored lion clan said in a deep voice, you can only protect him for a while. What will you do during the world competition? Lu Fengyao smiled, that's none of your concern. The world competition has its own rules. Here, with me around, you all better behave. The jade bead in her hand activated with her words, emitting a beautiful light and a powerful pressure that swept across the area. This pressure was incredibly strong, only slightly weaker than that of a Tao sovereign. Lin Moyu felt that the jade bead was not an ordinary artifact, it was almost at the level of a Tao sovereign's artifact. Who exactly is Lu Fengyao, and why is she suddenly so protective of me? Lin Moyu wondered. He didn't believe his flattery had worked. Lu Fengyao must have her own reasons for protecting him, though he didn't know what they were. Faced with Lu Fengyao's dominance, the demon celestial sovereigns chose to retreat temporarily. They feared not Lu Fengyao herself, but the artifact in her hand. The Lu Feng Chamber of Commerce was wealthy, and who knew if they had more such artifacts. The forest became quiet, indicating that everyone who was supposed to arrive had arrived. There were 7 dragons, with 2 high-level celestial sovereigns. The insect race had 3 members, one of whom was a high-level celestial sovereign. The demon race had 21 members, with 7 high-level celestial sovereigns. The human race had 22 members, also with 7 high-level celestial sovereigns. Lin Moyu was the only supreme, making him the most unique. At this moment, a high-level celestial sovereign from the human race walked towards the altar. Instantly, everyone's attention was drawn to him. Everyone knew the altar was extraordinary, but no one could say exactly why. He approached the altar, and nothing happened. In front of him were 18 steps leading to the altar. As he stepped onto the first step, a gentle breeze blew, causing his face to change drastically, and he quickly retreated. But he was a step too slow. The breeze blew over his body. A scream echoed as half of his body turned to dust, blood splattering everywhere. He quickly took out a pill and swallowed it, his body glowing brightly as his injuries rapidly healed. Within seconds, the blown-away half of his body was restored. He changed into clean clothes, looking calm as if nothing had happened. However, Lin Moyu could see from his eyes that he was terrified and was just pretending to be calm. With his example, everyone knew the altar was not to be approached. Lu Fengyao whispered, "Only the dragons and the insect race might know how to approach the altar. They arrived before us." Lin Moyu nodded. When the knocking sound started, the dragons and the insect race fought fiercely, and when it stopped, they stopped too. "I guess we can only approach the altar when the knocking sound is present. And only then can we fight without attracting attacks from the forest creatures." Lu Fengyao's eyes brightened. "Lin Shaodi, your analysis matches mine." Lin Moyu asked, "Sister Fengyao, when did you arrive in this space? How many times have you heard the knocking sound?" Lu Fengyao replied, "I arrived a few days ago and have only heard it once." Lin Moyu said, "The sound seems to enhance the soul but erases wisdom." Lu Fengyao nodded, "Yes, but as long as one's Tao heart is firm, they won't be affected." High-level celestial sovereigns generally had firm Tao hearts and were not easily influenced. Lin Moyu was also unaffected, which made Lu Fengyao regard him more highly. Lin Moyu pondered, "It seems we can only wait for the knocking sound to reappear. But since the dragons and the insect race are waiting here, I feel the next knocking sound won't be far off." Lu Fengyao laughed, "Lin Shaodi, you think just like me. Let's wait then." Lin Moyu thought, "Whether she means it or not, I'll take it as she says." Lin Moyu quietly asked, "Sister Fengyao, do you know what that breeze was? Why is it so terrifying?" Lu Fengyao whispered, "If I'm not mistaken, that should be the wind of the Tao." The wind of the Tao? Lin Moyu had never heard of this term. Lu Fengyao explained, "The wind of the Tao is blown by a Tao sovereign using the power of the great Tao, possessing destructive power. But this wind of the Tao is unusually terrifying, not just an ordinary wind of the Tao. If it were just an ordinary wind of the Tao, the dragon's power could block it for a short time." Lu Fengyao's explanation was convincing, and Lin Moyu chose to believe her. The wind of the Tao blown by a Tao sovereign was indeed terrifying. Lin Moyu thought of his elemental lich, which could also use the power of the great Tao, but its power was far inferior to that of a Tao sovereign. If he could obtain a material or artifact at the Tao sovereign level, summoning the elemental lich and using the power of the great Tao would significantly enhance its power. Lu Fengyao looked at the altar and muttered, "I wonder if I can withstand the wind of the Tao." Lin Moyu was startled by her casual remark, realizing that Lu Fengyao's strength might be beyond his imagination. She first thought the dragon couldn't withstand it but considered that she might, indicating her confidence in surpassing the dragon. In the same realm, dragons were nearly invincible, so Lu Fengyao's confidence suggested she had formidable hidden cards. The wealth of the Lu Feng Chamber of Commerce and Lu Fengyao's status within it were beyond imagination. At this moment, another high-level celestial sovereign from the demon race approached the altar. He was humanoid but had a curved horn on his forehead, belonging to the iron armor lineage of the demon race. His true form was similar to a rhinoceros, known for its top-tier defense among the demon race. He roared towards the sky, revealing his true form covered in iron armor. He maximized his defense and cautiously stepped onto the first step. A gentle breeze blew, and the iron armor sparkled, making a metallic clashing sound. He blocked it. Everyone was surprised, not expecting him to block the breeze. The demon celestial sovereigns were delighted. However, Lin Moyu noticed a hint of disdain in Lu Fengyao's eyes, shared by the high-level celestial sovereign from the dragon race. Chapter 2454, 2454. Chapter 2454. The lady kills but doesn't bury. The gentle breeze continuously struck the iron armor, making a clinking sound. Iron Feng was very cautious and did not continue upward but instead adapted to the breeze. Lu Fengyao whispered, "His name is Iron Feng. He holds a significant position within his clan and is quite powerful, but unfortunately, he's not very bright." Lin Moyu chuckled, "How can someone at the high-level celestial sovereign not be bright?" Lu Fengyao laughed, "The demon race's cultivation differs from ours. Some of their abilities come from bloodline inheritance. The iron armor lineage seems to have some issues with their bloodline inheritance, making them not very smart. Lin Moyu thought of the previous knocking sound, which could elevate one's realm but erase wisdom. If the bloodline inheritance brought many benefits to the iron armor lineage, it might also come with some drawbacks. Lu Fengyao continued, if I'm not mistaken, the difficulty of this altar increases the higher you go. He won't make it far. Lin Moyu agreed. Although Iron Fang's defense was strong, it was at most comparable to the dragon race. If the dragons couldn't make it up, neither could he. If he could, the dragons would already be on the altar. To Lin Moyu, Iron Fang's attempt was pointless. As Lu Fengyao said, he wasn't very bright. After adapting for a while, Iron Fang took another step, stepping onto the second step. The clinking sound became more intense, and Iron Fang's body shook but remained stable. After adapting for a while longer, he took a third step. Instantly, his face changed dramatically, and his iron armor silently turned to powder, followed by his body. He retreated frantically, even more miserably than the previous high-level celestial sovereign from the human race. By the time he retreated, half of his body was gone, with blood and internal organs spilling everywhere. The blood of a celestial sovereign contained immense power, enough to crush stars, but on the mountain top, it was quickly absorbed by the ground. He took out a pill and consumed it, beginning to recover. Physical injuries were not a big deal for a celestial sovereign and could be easily repaired, but the newly regenerated body would take some time to reach its previous level. Iron Fang's failure was expected by many and came as no surprise. However, everyone became more cautious of the altar, pondering how to ascend it. Lin Moyu looked at the ground thoughtfully. Lu Fengyao noticed his unusual behavior. Did you discover something? Lin Moyu said, the ground's absorption of blood seems odd. Odd, Lu Fengyao hadn't observed as closely as Lin Moyu and hadn't noticed anything unusual. The blood of the previous human celestial sovereign and now Iron Fang was quickly absorbed by the ground. During this brief process, some patterns appeared on the ground. Lin Moyu compared the patterns from both times and felt they looked familiar. After thinking for a moment, he remembered where he had seen similar patterns on one of the fish bones he had obtained. Each fish bone had unique patterns, and Lin Moyu now had 4 fish bones, each with different patterns. Although the 4 patterns looked different, some parts were similar. Lin Moyu took out a fish bone and, looking at its pattern, was 100% sure that the ground beneath the altar had patterns similar to those on the fish bones. This could lead to many deductions. Suddenly, he felt many eyes on him. Both the demon and human races were looking at him. Most of the gazes were filled with greed, and some with envy. Lin Moyu realized that some people present might not have obtained any fish bones. Lu Fengyao whispered, what are you doing? Haven't you heard the saying, don't flaunt your wealth? Lin Moyu didn't put the fish bone away as she suggested but said, it's just a fish bone, no big deal. Lu Fengyao held her head, fish bones can be exchanged with the king of the realm sea for rewards. The king has countless treasures, making fish bones very valuable. Lin Moyu said, they've already seen it, putting it away now is too late. Besides, with Sister Fengyao here, they won't dare to rob me. Lu Fengyao was exasperated, even if I want to protect you, with so many people here, I might not be able to. If things get bad, you should activate the Realm Sea token and leave. It's not safe here anymore. Lin Moyu shook his head, I used the Realm Sea token once before, and due to some accident, it's still recovering and can't be used temporarily. Besides, Sister Fengyao won't let anything happen to me. If it comes to it, I'll give the fish bone to Sister Fengyao. I believe they won't dare to rob her. Lu Fengyao's eyes widened, don't joke around. Lin Moyu smiled, I'm not joking. He then tossed the fish bone to Lu Fengyao. She caught it, realizing he wasn't joking. Her expression grew complex. The fish bone was extremely valuable, and he just gave it away like that. Lin Moyu knew that holding onto the fish bone was like holding a hot potato, making him a target. In Lu Fengyao's hands, it was a different story. With her status and strength, anyone trying to rob her would have to think twice. Moreover, Lin Moyu had his own plans. The Lufeng Chamber of Commerce seemed very powerful on the origin continent. Lu Fengyao's status within the chamber was likely significant. Building a good relationship with her might help him in the future when he set foot on the origin continent. Giving her the fish bone was an investment. Most importantly, he believed Lu Fengyao wouldn't let him suffer a loss. As expected, after giving the fish bone to Lu Fengyao, many people's attention shifted away from him. Lu Fengyao glared. What, do you want to rob me? Her high-level celestial sovereign aura burst forth, causing many to avoid her gaze. She put the fish bone away and snorted, if you want to rob, go ahead. I kill but don't bury. Seeing Lu Fengyao's strong stance, Lin Moyu saw a bit of Lin Mohan's shadow in her. Such women were not to be trifled with. Lin Moyu said, Sister Fengyao, will you accompany me for a walk? Lu Fengyao whispered, did you discover something? Lin Moyu said, I'm not sure yet, I need to check. Lu Fengyao readily agreed, you go, I'll follow. Lin Moyu walked to the edge of the altar, with Lu Fengyao following like a guardian. His actions drew everyone's attention again. What's he doing? Does he want to ascend the altar? A mere peak supreme, lucky to get here, now wants to climb the altar. Does he not know his limits? He doesn't even know how he'll die. Everyone wanted to see Lin Moyu make a fool of himself, to see how he would die. Unfortunately, Lin Moyu had no intention of climbing the altar. He stopped at the steps, crouched down, and gently touched the edge of the step. A drop of his blood fell onto the step. Chapter 2455, 2455. Chapter 2455. Dao Patterns, the origin of the altar. Lin Moyu chose a very special angle, right in the blind spot of most people's vision. Moreover, with Lu Fengyao by his side, she blocked the last bit of view. No one saw what Lin Moyu was doing. What others saw was just Lin Moyu squatting by the altar, not knowing what he was doing. Lu Fengyao saw all of Lin Moyu's actions, but she also didn't understand what he was doing. For some reason, Lu Fengyao had an inexplicable sense of trust in Lin Moyu. This trust was unrelated to their realms and came more from her sixth sense. She felt that Lin Moyu must have discovered something. Lin Moyu saw his essence blood being absorbed, and the patterns appeared again for a moment before disappearing. Unlike the previous two people, who only bled when injured, Lin Moyu's essence blood contained a part of his soul. For a cultivator, the amount of essence blood is limited and not easily expended. But for Lin Moyu, he had as much essence blood as he needed and wasn't afraid of using it. Seeing that his essence blood indeed had some effect, Lin Moyu continued to squeeze out essence blood, letting it drip continuously onto the steps. Gradually, he felt a mysterious connection forming between himself and the altar. The scene in his vision changed magically. It was as if he was high in the sky, looking down at the altar. A man in a black Taoist robe appeared in his sight. He stood at the mountain top, waving his hand, and the altar formed accordingly. After the altar was formed, he painted in the air, sketching countless patterns that formed a mysterious diagram. The diagram was too complex, seemingly like runes but beyond runes. Lin Moyu's soul trembled as he could barely remember part of it. The diagram was completed in an instant, and the man pointed to the sky, shouting, "Wind, come!" With a light shout, a fierce wind arose, layer upon layer, with varying speeds. He then took out an item and threw it into the altar. Lin Moyu saw that the item was a fish bone, shaped like a sword, likely the spine of a large fish. The fish bone also had complex patterns engraved on it, echoing the patterns on the altar. As the fish bone was inserted into the altar, the previously drawn patterns glowed and stirred up a massive wind. The wind blew on the fish bone, producing a thumping sound. Lin Moyu's soul trembled again, feeling his soul level rapidly ascending, almost reaching the celestial sovereign level. Stop! Lin Moyu lightly shouted in his heart. The 10-colored dragon soul crystal roared, and the scene before his eyes disappeared instantly. Lin Moyu's body trembled, and he woke up suddenly. Lu Fengyao asked, what happened? She had seen Lin Moyu suddenly freeze and didn't know what had happened, but she didn't disturb him. Lin Moyu, with a hint of shock in his eyes, transmitted his voice, I think I know what the altar is about. Lu Fengyao's beautiful eyes widened, explain in detail. Lin Moyu recounted what he had seen, and after listening, Lu Fengyao couldn't help but frown. She whispered, I've always felt that this altar was strange, but I couldn't figure out what was wrong. Lin Moyu asked, I think the problem might be with that sword-shaped fish bone, and the altar is just a tool to hold the fish bone. Sister Fengyao, do you know what the patterns on the fish bone are? Lu Fengyao looked at Lin Moyu, seemingly scrutinizing something, her eyes slightly complex. Lin Moyu knew that what he said would make her think of something, so he directly said, Sister Fengyao, there's no need to think too much. I indeed do not come from a prominent family, so I don't understand many things. If he came from a prominent family with family inheritance, he should be able to recognize the patterns on the fish bone. Lu Fengyao wasn't stupid through his words, she naturally guessed that he had no family inheritance. Lu Fengyao lightly shook her head, I'm a bit surprised that you could get here without family inheritance. Your foundation and luck must be very deep. These patterns are called Dao patterns, belonging to Dao sovereigns. Specifically, you'll understand when you reach the Dao sovereign realm. Just remember, don't study these patterns before reaching Dao sovereign, it's meaningless. If you're unlucky, it might even backfire, causing more harm than good. Dao patterns, the patterns of Dao sovereigns. Lin Moyu remembered this. No wonder he couldn't understand them before, they belonged to Dao sovereigns. This meant that the person who created this altar and drew the patterns was also a Dao sovereign. But why did he do this? A Dao sovereign wouldn't be bored enough to come here and create an altar for no reason. There must be a reason. The altar would emit knocking sounds periodically, spreading across the entire continent and into the ocean. During the knocking sounds, many creatures' cultivation would rapidly increase, reaching high-level celestial sovereign. The price they paid was losing their wisdom, becoming beasts acting on instinct. But this didn't matter, they were beasts to begin with, so the price was nothing to them. Lin Moyu didn't continue to explore the root cause. He left the altar, quietly waiting for the next activation of the altar. After the previous scene, Lin Moyu knew that the altar would activate periodically. Moreover, after absorbing his essence blood, the altar had a mysterious connection with him, and something might happen when it activated again. Time passed by the second, and everyone remained silent. Besides Lin Moyu, everyone present was a celestial sovereign. For celestial sovereigns, a single meditation session could last hundreds or thousands of years. A few days were nothing to them. The mountaintop became very quiet, with occasional sounds from the forest below, where animals fought, causing significant commotion. The entire mountain seemed to tremble, but it was special and unaffected. On the sixth day, a force began to grow and spread from the altar. Lin Moyu, maintaining a mysterious connection with the altar, was the first to sense it activating. It's coming. As the altar began to activate, everyone felt their bodies sink, as if an invisible hand was pressing down on them. At the same time, they felt their connection with the outside world being cut off, unable to sense anything outside. Someone suddenly shouted, "Not good, the Realm C token is ineffective." In an instant, everyone turned pale and took out their Realm C tokens, finding them dim and indeed ineffective. Lin Moyu also took out his Realm C token, finding it had stopped recovering. An invisible force had locked the Realm C token, rendering it useless. Lin Moyu looked at the dragons, who showed no surprise, clearly knowing what was happening, having experienced it before. Since that was the case, he didn't need to worry and just watched. After all, he couldn't use the Realm C token before, and now it was the same. The altar's activation intensified, and everyone felt increasingly heavy. Soon, a fish bone appeared in the altar, a sword-shaped fish bone. Half of the fish bone was inserted into the altar, with the other half exposed. At the moment the fish bone appeared, a thumping sound echoed, spreading across the world. Simultaneously, the space at the mountaintop expanded rapidly, at least 10,000 times, becoming extremely vast. Fierce winds arose, like clouds and mist, layer upon layer. Kill! The dragons roared and immediately attacked the insect race. The insect race seemed prepared and didn't show weakness, with countless flying insects emerging from their nest. Chapter 2456, 2456. Chapter 2456. I'll go first. The wind blew against the fish bone, producing a knocking sound. Amidst the sound, everyone's souls trembled. In Lin Moyu's soul world, the 10-colored dragon soul crystal breathed dragon breath, purifying his soul and keeping it pure. The forest became completely silent, and all living beings fell into a strange state, as if they were asleep. The dragon and insect races almost simultaneously began to fight, clashing fiercely. At this moment, no matter how intense the battle was, it would not affect the forest. With the knocking sound, all the fierce winds were swept away by the fish bone. At this moment, someone realized they could ascend the altar. All the celestial sovereigns acted simultaneously, rushing towards the altar. The wind swirled in the sky, and they did not dare to fly or even jump too high, so they could only run on the ground. Lu Fengyao whispered, "Lin Shaodi, it might get chaotic soon. I might not be able to protect you, so be careful." She was being honest, no one knew what would happen next. In the chaos, she couldn't guarantee Lin Moyu's safety. Lin Moyu smiled, "Don't worry, Sister Fengyao, I'll be fine." You be careful too. Lu Fengyao nodded slightly, then let's go. The two of them ran towards the altar, but they were a step late. By the time they moved, someone had already reached the edge of the altar. Ready, he stepped onto the altar steps. The previous gentle breeze did not appear, and the person showed a joyful expression, it's safe. After the altar activated, the fish bone swept away the wind, and there was no more Tao wind on the steps. He continued upward with joy. Seeing that he was fine, the other celestial sovereigns couldn't wait to step onto the steps. Everyone rushed towards the altar, as if whoever reached it first would gain the greatest benefit. Lin Moyu was not in a hurry, he knew it wouldn't be that simple. Moreover, the state of these celestial sovereigns was a bit strange, as if they were affected by something. Looking at Lu Fengyao, her eyes also showed some inexplicable changes, as if she was a bit anxious. Lin Moyu's heart sank. This altar affects people's minds. The state of the celestial sovereigns was definitely abnormal, they shouldn't be so eager. Because of his previous experience, Lin Moyu was not affected. The first person to step onto the steps quickly reached 1/3 of the way up. When he stepped onto the 7th step, his body suddenly tilted, and half of his body turned to powder. He fell with a scream, quickly taking out a pill and swallowing it to reshape his body. His appearance made everyone freeze on the spot. Suddenly, those who were rushing slowed down. Someone shouted, "Be careful, this altar is strange, it can confuse the mind." Finally, a high-level celestial sovereign realized something was wrong and shouted, shocking everyone. Most of the celestial sovereigns woke up with this shout, but a few still couldn't stay calm. From this, one could see the soul realm of each person. Lu Fengyao's delicate body trembled, her eyes became clear, and she quickly took out a jade bead and activated it. The jade bead glowed, enveloping her. Only then did she breathe a sigh of relief. The means of a Tao sovereign are indeed terrifying. I was unknowingly affected. Lin Moyu also smiled. Yes, Tao sovereigns are indeed terrifying. Lu Fengyao was suddenly surprised. You weren't affected. Lin Moyu said softly, I'm fine. Lu Fengyao couldn't help but look at Lin Moyu again. She felt that this little brother always surprised her. Although he didn't have the background of the origin continent, with his talent, he would surely achieve great things once he entered the origin continent. Lu Fengyao had no doubt that Lin Moyu would become a Tao sovereign in the future, and not an ordinary one. Her thoughts quickly turned, and Lin Moyu's status in her heart rose again. The two of them came to the edge of the altar. The 18 steps were not high, but they seemed like a chasm, blocking everyone. Dozens of celestial sovereigns stood in different positions, looking at the fishbone on the altar, so close yet unreachable. Lu Fengyao also looked at the fishbone and transmitted her voice. The Tao patterns on it are not simple, they are not from an ordinary Tao sovereign. With her vast knowledge, she immediately recognized that the Tao patterns on the fishbone were extraordinary. Even among Tao sovereigns, there were different levels, and the Tao patterns on the fishbone were not from an ordinary Tao sovereign. At this time, a celestial sovereign took out a puppet to explore the way and see what was going on. The puppet stepped onto the 7th step and was instantly blown to powder by an invisible breeze. After a while, he took out a second puppet. This time, the puppet successfully stepped onto the 7th step but turned to powder on the 8th step. Using puppets to explore the way made many celestial sovereigns' eyes light up, and they immediately followed suit. Although puppets were not cheap, it was better than risking their lives. Lin Moyu and Lu Fengyao stepped onto the steps together. Now the situation was such that there was no need to rush, everyone was taking turns exploring. Only when it was confirmed safe would they dare to continue upward. When Lin Moyu stepped onto the steps, he paused for a moment and smiled. When they reached the 7th step, Lin Moyu suddenly said, Sister Fengyao, I'll go first. Then, under Lu Fengyao's shocked gaze, Lin Moyu walked up step by step. The 8th step, the 9th step. Lin Moyu walked as if on flat ground, ignoring the danger. The celestial sovereigns were astonished. He can go up. Is it safe now? Immediately, someone followed. There was no danger on the 8th step, then the 9th step. The first celestial sovereign to go up screamed and retreated again. The Tao wind was still there, still deadly. Some celestial sovereigns didn't believe it and tested with puppets, finding they couldn't go up. But Lin Moyu walked up without danger, quickly reaching the 15th step, almost at the top. Why is he fine? How did he do it? What did he do in front of the altar before? He must have done something. Everyone looked at Lu Fengyao with unfriendly eyes, as if questioning her. Lu Fengyao snorted coldly, What are you looking at? Want to spar with me? A sword hum sounded, and she took out a sharp sword with a Dao pattern on it, a Dao sovereign level artifact. With a Dao sovereign level artifact in hand, Lu Fengyao's aura became extremely fierce. With the jade bead for protection and the sword to slay enemies, Lu Fengyao feared no celestial sovereign. Dao sovereign level artifact. The Lu Feng Chamber of Commerce is indeed wealthy, taking out a Dao sovereign level artifact so easily. What is her status in the Lu Feng Chamber of Commerce to have a Dao sovereign level artifact? Everyone quickly turned their heads, pretending nothing had happened. Their cowardice was evident. Lu Fengyao looked at Lin Moyu, who had already reached the top, with a complex expression. How did you discover it? At that time, Lin Moyu had done it right under her nose, squeezing out some essence blood and dripping it onto the altar, then telling her about it. She never expected Lin Moyu could ignore the danger and go straight to the altar. She increasingly felt Lin Moyu was extraordinary, surpassing the geniuses she had seen before. It seems I need to win him over more. Lu Fengyao thought to herself about how to win over Lin Moyu. Chapter 2457, 2457. Chapter 2457. Suicidal refinement. Under the watchful eyes of everyone, Lin Moyu ascended the altar, step by step, approaching the fish bone. The fierce wind howled around him but did not harm him in the slightest. Is this the Dao wind? He thought. It's really strong. Lin Moyu could feel the terrifying power contained within the wind. This power came from the great Dao, invoked by a Dao sovereign. Vaguely, within the fierce wind in the air, it seemed as if a great Dao was emerging. These Dao winds were unstoppable for high-level celestial sovereigns. Lin Moyu knew very well why he could ignore the Dao wind's attacks. He also knew that the Dao sovereign who created this altar had already fallen. Previously, when he dripped his essence blood into the altar, it contained his soul. In fact, this was a process of refinement. Among the methods of refining magical treasures, there is one called blood recognition. This method has many limitations. The stronger the treasure, the more essence blood is required. Unintentionally, Lin Moyu treated the altar as a magical treasure and used his essence blood to complete the initial refinement. Although he still couldn't control the altar, he could avoid its attacks. Thus, Lin Moyu stepped onto the altar unharmed, directly facing the fish bone. The fish bone, shaped like a sword, looked extremely sharp. The wind collided with it, producing a knocking sound. Just as Lin Moyu was about to approach the fish bone, a bolt of lightning suddenly struck from the sky, accompanied by a dragon's roar echoing in the soul world. The dragons had launched an attack on him. Lin Moyu was not surprised. Although the dragons and the insect race were fighting fiercely, they were always watching the altar. Previously, no one could ascend the altar, so they were not in a hurry. But now, seeing Lin Moyu on the altar, about to obtain the fish bone, they naturally took action. The dragons had countless secret techniques, capable of attacking him even without stepping onto the altar. Lin Moyu knew he couldn't defeat those celestial sovereign-level dragons, but he wasn't afraid of their long-range attacks. The lightning strike was weakened layer by layer by the Dao wind, and by the time it reached Lin Moyu, its power was greatly reduced, equivalent to a low-level celestial sovereign's attack. Lin Moyu calmly accepted it, with all the damage shared by the undead army, leaving him unharmed. The dragon was stunned and roared in frustration. One high-level celestial sovereign dragon took out a magical treasure resembling cotton, enveloped in lightning, crackling continuously. In the next second, the treasure flew above Lin Moyu's head, resisting the Dao wind, transforming into a thundercloud with a dragon faintly visible within. The thundercloud appeared in the Dao wind but was not blown away, demonstrating immense power. Anyone with a discerning eye could see that this treasure was also a Dao sovereign-level artifact, capable of withstanding the Dao wind. He's finished. The dragon's wealth is no less than the Lu Feng Chamber of Commerce. It's not surprising they have a Dao sovereign-level artifact. With a Dao sovereign-level artifact, even if he can ignore the altar, he can't escape the dragon's attack. This ignorant kid is dead for sure. All the celestial sovereigns watched Lin Moyu as if enjoying a joke. At this moment, except for Lu Fengyao, no one wanted Lin Moyu to survive. Lu Fengyao also became extremely nervous. Just a moment ago, she was thinking about how to increase her stakes to win over Lin Moyu, and the next moment, he was about to die. But now she had no solution. Although she had many magical treasures, none seemed capable of saving Lin Moyu. Thunder roared, and bolts of lightning fell like raindrops, striking Lin Moyu. The lightning was too fast, locking onto Lin Moyu tightly, making it unavoidable. Lin Moyu tried to enter another dimension, but facing a Dao sovereign-level artifact's attack, his power of space-time was too weak. The Dao wind could weaken the lightning attacks, each attack equivalent to a low-level celestial sovereigns, but with so many, he couldn't withstand them all. Lin Moyu's heart stirred, and the 10-colored dragon soul crystal emitted a loud dragon roar, echoing through the soul world and the heavens. Simultaneously, a unique dragon aura rose from Lin Moyu's body. In an instant, the scene became deathly silent, and everyone felt even the wind had quieted. A celestial sovereign couldn't believe it. How does he have a dragon's aura? A pure dragon aura, no different from a divine dragon. A human with such pure dragon aura, does he have a dragon soul crystal? Having a dragon soul crystal means being recognized by the dragons. Without active aggression, no dragon can attack the dragon soul crystal holder. Indeed, as soon as Lin Moyu revealed the dragon soul crystal's aura, the thundercloud above his head vanished instantly. The dragon's voice echoed, "You have a dragon soul crystal, you are recognized by our dragon race." The implication was clear, they would not attack him anymore. Lin Moyu finally breathed a sigh of relief. He didn't want to fight the dragons, and even if he did, now was not the time. Using the dragon soul crystal to avoid this conflict was a win-win situation. "Thank you, Senior," Lin Moyu responded loudly. Lu Fengyao was overjoyed, he even has a dragon soul crystal. Being recognized by the dragons, I need to increase my stakes further. The dragon manipulated the thundercloud artifact, directing it towards the insect race. Bolts of lightning fell, and without the Dao wind's interference outside the altar, the lightning's power was immense. The insect race also used their trump cards, spewing out numerous strange insects towards the thundercloud. These insects had strong defenses, withstanding the lightning and charging into the thundercloud, then exploding. The thundercloud trembled and weakened significantly. The two races, having fought for countless years, knew each other's methods well and had countermeasures, resulting in a stalemate. Accompanied by the howling Dao wind, Lin Moyu reached the fishbone and grasped it. He tried to pull it out but couldn't. The fishbone was integrated with the entire altar, immovable. Not even high-level celestial sovereigns could pull it out. Lin Moyu pondered, recalling the scenes he had seen before. He knew the entire process of the altar's formation and every pattern on it. After a moment, he had an answer. To obtain the fishbone, one must control the entire altar. To control the altar, one must refine it. The altar was designed as a magical treasure that could be refined. But with his current strength, fully refining it was extremely difficult. There's only one way to try. What is the purpose of this altar? Why did that Dao sovereign create it? Unfortunately, that Dao sovereign is dead, and I can only find the answer myself. Lin Moyu's hand slid across the fishbone, creating a cut. He grasped the fishbone, and his essence blood flowed out like it was free, pouring into the entire altar through the fishbone. In a short time, losing a large amount of essence blood, Lin Moyu's aura weakened rapidly, and his soul became lethargic. Essence blood contained his power, laws, soul, and more. Most importantly, it contained his soul. Each drop of essence blood was like splitting a small part of his soul. Losing too much would cause his soul to collapse. What's this kid doing? Is he committing suicide? How could he be committing suicide? Could there be a problem with the fishbone? It's possible. What if the fishbone is draining his life? The celestial sovereigns watched Lin Moyu's abnormal state and considered another possibility. Lin Moyu's condition was too dire, looking like a dead man. Lu Fengyao became worried again. She had just been happy for Lin Moyu, and now this happened. She gritted her teeth. What are you doing? Chapter 2458, 2458. Chapter 2458. The sky is falling as a large amount of essence blood was absorbed by the fishbone and then channeled into the altar. The connection between Lin Moyu and the altar was rapidly strengthening. However, refining it was not that simple. He had only completed a small part of the process. All his essence blood was exhausted, and Lin Moyu looked like a withered tree, on the verge of death. Despite this, Lin Moyu felt quite good because he had confirmed that his method was indeed effective. One round of essence blood wasn't enough, but there could be a second round. After sending all his essence blood into the fishbone, Lin Moyu died on the spot under everyone's gaze. His breath disappeared entirely, and his presence faded. The celestial sovereigns were stunned. Is he really dead? He got all his life force sucked out by the fishbone. This is hilarious. What a huge joke. We thought he was some kind of genius, but he died so pathetically. Your human geniuses are really funny, playing themselves to death. Lu Fengyao was also stunned on the spot. Did he really die just like that? No way. From the looks of it, you didn't seem like someone with a short life. How did you just die like that? While they were discussing, purple light suddenly flickered on Lin Moyu's body. The previously dead Lin Moyu suddenly revived, becoming completely intact in an instant. Huh, he's alive again. What's going on? He was clearly dead. How is he alive again? Could it be some kind of fake death technique? Lin Moyu's sudden revival shocked everyone. Lu Fengyao also showed delight. I knew it, you wouldn't die so easily. Lin Moyu always gave her the feeling of being confident and in control, no matter what he did, always having his own rhythm. She had seen such people before, the elders in the Dao sovereign realm within the Chamber of Commerce. This was why she held Lin Moyu in high regard. Now, Lin Moyu did not disappoint her. Lu Fengyao was convinced that as long as Lin Moyu didn't die, he would definitely become a Dao sovereign in the future. Such a person should be invested in while they are still in their early stages. The earlier the investment, the greater the future returns. While Lu Fengyao was contemplating, Lin Moyu began his performance again. His posture was exactly the same as before, and he once again became withered, his breath rapidly declining. He looked like he was about to die again. Lu Fengyao couldn't help but sweat for Lin Moyu. She really couldn't figure out what Lin Moyu was doing. The celestial sovereigns were even more puzzled, wondering, what's going on with him? What else could it be? He must have been sucked dry and then revived through some secret technique, living a second life. Even if he lives, he can't escape the fish bone and will still be sucked dry. If he can't escape the fish bone, what use is reviving several times? He'll die sooner or later. Some celestial sovereigns thought they had seen through the truth, each with a cold smile, waiting to see Lin Moyu die. Lin Moyu's previous actions had almost slapped them in the face. They were celestial sovereigns, yet they were outdone by a supreme. Where could they put their face? Under everyone's gaze, Lin Moyu died again. He looked like a withered tree, his breath dissipating. This time, no celestial sovereign spoke. 2 seconds later, accompanied by a burst of purple light, Lin Moyu revived again. The revived Lin Moyu still maintained the same posture, his breath weakening again. It seemed he still couldn't escape the fish bone and was destined to be sucked dry. A celestial sovereign sneered, "It's useless. No matter how many times you revive, you will still die. A supreme is just a supreme. Facing Dao patterns, there is no resistance. There's no chance. Just wait quietly for death." The celestial sovereigns were almost certain that Lin Moyu would die sooner or later and couldn't survive. After all, the fish bone had Dao patterns, and not just ordinary Dao patterns. Even they, as celestial sovereigns, were nothing in front of Dao patterns, let alone a supreme. While they were speculating, a violent wind arose, and the knocking sound became unprecedentedly intense, like thunder in their ears. The altar began to shake violently, and the celestial sovereigns' faces changed drastically. What's happening? Is the altar going to collapse? What did this kid do to cause this? The celestial sovereigns exclaimed continuously but didn't dare to fly away. The Dao wind in the sky was deadly. They each activated their laws to protect themselves, watching the changes. In the urgent knocking sound, the violent wind surged towards the fish bone at an astonishing speed. The wind in the sky swirled into a tornado, rushing into the fish bone. Countless complex Dao patterns appeared under the entire altar, merging with the fish bone, activating the entire altar. The terrifying aura of a Dao sovereign realm burst out from the altar, spreading in the air. The aura of a Dao sovereign pressed down on the celestial sovereigns, making it hard for them to breathe. The violent wind howled, completely covering the position of the fish bone, and Lin Moyu disappeared from everyone's sight. Then, with a loud bang, the altar exploded. Screams rang out, and terrifying power surged, impacting every celestial sovereign. The power of the Dao patterns was incredibly strong, carrying a soul impact. Several celestial sovereigns were severely injured and lost consciousness on the spot. All their defenses were useless against the impact of the Dao patterns. Even Lu Fengyao, protected by the jade bead, groaned, suffering some impact. This was just the beginning. Another terrifying force swept down from the sky, as if a Dao sovereign had personally struck, hitting everyone's real world and directly reaching their souls. Including the divine dragons, everyone lost consciousness at the same time, falling into a coma. The forest exploded, and all the creatures in the forest, one by one, exploded and died. Blood splattered the forest, which also collapsed. Not only the forest, but the giant pythons on the distant grassland also exploded, without exception. Then the terrifying force swept into the ocean world, and the creatures in the ocean also exploded one after another. The forest collapsed, the ground cracked, and a huge gap appeared at the bottom of the ocean. Everything was sinking, and the world was collapsing. Only Lin Moyu, in the midst of the violent wind, holding the fish bone, remained conscious. He saw this scene and was extremely shocked. He had just completely refined the altar, not expecting it to explode on the spot. What happened next was completely beyond his expectations and out of his control. The altar exploded, the forest collapsed, and then the entire grassland, earth, and ocean collapsed. All the celestial sovereigns lost consciousness and sank with the collapse. Lin Moyu's mouth twitched. What the hell is this? Suddenly, he looked up, and countless cracks appeared in the sky. Then the water of the ocean world rushed down from the cracks, forming countless waterfalls. The cracks expanded rapidly, and countless rocks rolled down with the ocean water. The sky is falling, Lin Moyu muttered in his heart, feeling a bit helpless. It is often said that when the sky falls, tall people will hold it up, but now all the celestial sovereigns were unreliable, and he became the tallest person. Should he hold it up? With what? Hold up nothing. Lin Moyu held the fish bone and flew down desperately. No matter where the sky and earth collapsed, he could only follow. With the collapsing earth, Lin Moyu rushed into the ocean and quickly passed through the bottom of the ocean. He didn't know how long he flew, but he felt like he had passed through a layer of the world's barrier, and his vision suddenly opened up. He found himself in a world purely composed of the ocean. If he didn't know where he was, he would have thought he had entered the ocean world. Chapter 2459, 2459. Chapter 2459. The death of a Dao sovereign fish. The world before Lin Moyu's eyes, no matter how he looked at it or felt it, was indistinguishable from the realm sea. He could hardly see any traces of human activity. If his memory wasn't faulty, he would have thought he had returned to the realm sea. The answer to the fishbone altar should be here, Lin Moyu thought to himself, taking out the realm sea token for a look. The token was still sealed, meaning he couldn't leave this place using it. This was true for him and presumably for everyone else as well. The realm sea token was no longer functional, so to leave, they had to find another way, or they would be trapped here forever. Moreover, it was uncertain whether this world was dangerous. He dispatched a large number of skeleton generals to explore in all directions. At this point, he could no longer be conservative. The only path forward was to explore and find answers. He believed that the king of the realm sea, who sent them here, wouldn't send them to their deaths. The king must know some secrets about this special space but hadn't told them. It was certain that the king of the realm sea wanted the fish bones, and the more, the better. Especially the sword-shaped fish bone in his hand, which was worth several ordinary fish bones. Since that was the case, there must be a way to return, otherwise, it would be meaningless. Lin Moyu trusted his judgment. He believed that as long as he found the answer, he could leave. If he couldn't find it, the outcome would be uncertain. The king of the realm sea, high and mighty, wouldn't care about their lives. In the king's eyes, all of them together might not be worth a single fish bone. After a while, the skeleton generals made some discoveries, and Lin Moyu immediately went over. Lu Fengyao was floating in the ocean, drifting with the waves of the realm sea. She was unconscious, protected by the jade bead, enduring the continuous impacts of the realm sea. The skeleton generals found her, and Lin Moyu quickly arrived, scanning her to confirm she wasn't injured. Lin Moyu used the soul voice, sending his voice directly into Lu Fengyao's rule world and soul. Sister Fengyao, wake up. After 3 calls, Lu Fengyao's eyebrows twitched, showing signs of waking up. A few seconds later, she slowly opened her eyes and let out a soft groan. Her eyes were filled with vigilance, but she relaxed upon seeing Lin Moyu. How long was I unconscious? Lu Fengyao asked weakly. Less than an hour, Lin Moyu replied. Lu Fengyao slowly floated up, looking around with a puzzled expression. Are we back in the realm sea? No, this isn't the realm sea, Lin Moyu explained, recounting the collapse of the previous space. Only then did Lu Fengyao realize they had entered another space. She sensed the surrounding aura and dove into the ocean to feel it, sighing, if you hadn't told me, I would have thought we were back in the realm sea. It's exactly the same. Indeed, it's exactly the same, but this isn't the realm sea, Lin Moyu confirmed. The identical environment created a strong illusion, making it hard to distinguish reality. Lu Fengyao suddenly asked, How did you find me? Lin Moyu smiled. Just lucky, I guess. I found you by accident. Lu Fengyao looked at him strangely, not believing it was just luck. She knew Lin Moyu must have some unknown methods. She glanced at the sword-shaped fish bone in Lin Moyu's hand. Is that the fish bone from the altar? Yes, it's thanks to this fish bone that I survived the collapse. I think we'll need it to solve the mystery here, Lin Moyu said. This fish bone is extraordinary, much stronger than the one you gave me. Be careful, others might covet it, Lu Fengyao warned. Lin Moyu was unconcerned. With you here, Sister Fengyao, I'm not afraid at all. Lu Fengyao rolled her eyes. No need for flattery. Lin Moyu laughed. He wasn't lying. Among all the fallen celestial sovereigns, he had found Lu Fengyao first. If that wasn't luck, what was it? I wonder where the others went, Lu Fengyao mused. Lin Moyu shook his head. I don't know yet. Before he could finish, he suddenly turned to look into the distance. What's wrong? Lu Fengyao asked. I found something. Follow me, Lin Moyu said, flying forward with Lu Fengyao following curiously. There was no Dao wind here, only an ocean identical to the realm sea. Lin Moyu had used the Eye of the Undead earlier and saw no soul fires, indicating no other living beings in this world. He had dispatched over 1 million skeleton generals to explore in all directions, and they were now completely dispersed. The fallen celestial sovereigns were scattered far and wide. Besides finding Lu Fengyao by luck, he hadn't found anyone else. From this, it could be inferred that after the altar collapsed, everyone scattered and drifted far apart. Whether they were dead or alive was unknown. As they flew, Lu Fengyao asked curiously, what did you find? A fish, Lin Moyu replied. A fish, Lu Fengyao was puzzled but soon understood. It was indeed a fish, a gigantic fish, like a continent, floating slowly in the ocean. The fish was so large that it was visible from a great distance. Lin Moyu swore it was the largest fish he had ever seen, far bigger than the whale general he had seen before. It looked like a whale but was covered in thick scales. Each scale was like an island, constantly shaking with the waves, creating endless splashes. Even the well-traveled Lu Fengyao was shocked. How can there be such a large fish? I've never seen such a large fish either, Lin Moyu said. The size of creatures in the realm sea couldn't be compared to those in the Great World. In the Great World, supremes could grow infinitely large, even reaching tens of light years, because the laws of the Great World didn't limit size. But in the realm sea, there were many restrictions. Lin Moyu had tried his best, but his size was only about 10,000 meters. According to Waterstop Celestial Sovereign, only celestial sovereigns could exceed 10,000 meters, with a maximum of 1 million meters. Dao sovereigns could exceed 1 million meters. This fish was not just 1 million meters, it was billions of meters long. They could barely see its outline from a great distance. If they got closer, they wouldn't be able to see it clearly. If we determine its realm by its size, what realm would this fish be? Lin Moyu asked. Above 1 million meters is Dao sovereign, but I don't know the upper limit for Dao sovereigns, Lu Fengyao replied. They were sure this was a Dao sovereign level fish. Lin Moyu frowned, using the Eye of the Undead to see that the fish was not alive. It seems to be dead, he said softly. Lu Fengyao agreed. I don't sense any life force, but it could be in a deep sleep. Without the Eye of the Undead, Lu Fengyao couldn't directly see the soul, so she considered the possibility of the fish being in a deep sleep. But Lin Moyu knew it was dead. Suddenly, the scales on the fish began to glow, and patterns emerged. The fish's mouth slowly opened with a deep sound, and countless waters of the realm sea rushed in. Chapter 2460, 2460. Chapter 2460. Someone wants to revive this fish. The sudden movement startled both Lin Moyu and Lu Fengyao. Just moments ago, they both agreed that the giant fish was dead. But now, it suddenly moved. The fish's mouth opened, emitting a low growl, and an endless stream of realm sea water poured into its enormous mouth. Lin Moyu and Lu Fengyao exchanged glances, both seeing the surprise in each other's eyes. Lu Fengyao whispered, it was clearly dead. Lin Moyu was even more certain that the fish was indeed dead. But what was happening now? He whispered, it must be dead. The current movements are probably related to the Dao patterns on its scales. Lu Fengyao asked, you mean the Dao patterns are controlling it? Lin Moyu replied, I can't be sure if the Dao patterns are controlling it, but they are definitely related. Lu Fengyao observed carefully. Although she didn't understand Dao patterns, she could see that Lin Moyu was right. She asked, do you understand Dao patterns? Lin Moyu shook his head. I don't, it's just a feeling. Lu Fengyao was speechless. She had some understanding of Dao patterns due to her family's inheritance and her own cultivation level. Yet Lin Moyu, without any background or high cultivation level, could also see it. She couldn't help but think, as this talent, more and more realm sea water was being swallowed by the giant fish, forming a terrifying vortex. The vortex grew stronger, drawing in more and more realm sea water. Moments later, countless scales on the fish's back suddenly spread open, and a large amount of realm sea water gushed out. The water that entered the fish's mouth circulated through its massive body and then was expelled. Lu Fengyao wondered, what exactly is it doing? Lin Moyu replied solemnly, it's refining the realm sea water. The water it swallows is refined and then expelled without its original power. Realm sea water is different from ordinary water, it contains immense power. Anyone entering the realm sea would endure the impact of this water. The realm sea water is impartial, affecting even the creatures living within it. This makes it so that only celestial sovereign level beings can survive below 50,000 meters in the realm sea. The deeper the realm sea, the stronger the power contained in its water. This power is what allows realm sea creatures to produce origin crystals, as the origin power comes from the realm sea water. The giant fish was refining the realm sea water, extracting its power. The power contained a lot of origin power, which the fish was refining. But why would a dead fish refine realm sea water? What purpose did it serve? At this moment, Lin Moyu suddenly saw a high-level celestial sovereign from the demon race drifting along with the realm sea water. He was clearly still unconscious and was swallowed by the giant fish along with the water. Lin Moyu saw it clearly with the eye of the undead, watching the demon's soul fire enter the fish's mouth and quickly extinguish. The demon celestial sovereign died silently after being swallowed by the fish. Lu Fengyao also saw this. Although she didn't have the eye of the undead, her celestial sovereign senses told her what had happened. Her expression grew serious. A high-level celestial sovereign had just died like that. If it were her, she wouldn't fare any better. Even with a Dao sovereign level artifact, she had no confidence in surviving. Feeling a fatal threat, Lu Fengyao whispered, what should we do? Lin Moyu shook his head, no rush, let's observe a bit more. He wanted to wait for the skeleton generals to fully explore this space and see if there was anything else besides the giant fish. Lu Fengyao had no choice but to follow Lin Moyu's lead and wait quietly. 3 hours later, the Dao patterns on the fish gradually dimmed, and its mouth slowly closed. Moments later, the scales on its back closed, and the fish became still again. Everything returned to calm, as if nothing had happened. During these 3 hours, Lin Moyu had been studying the Dao patterns. He discovered that although Dao patterns were different from runes and more complex, they had some similarities. Dao patterns seemed to be an upgraded version of runes, a higher level existence. Combining the Dao patterns on the fish with the runes he knew, Lin Moyu had an incredible guess. But it was just a guess, not a certainty. Now that the Dao patterns had receded and the fish was still, Lin Moyu whispered, I'm going over to take a look. Lu Fengyao frowned, look at what? The Dao patterns. Saying this, Lin Moyu flew over, and Lu Fengyao hesitated for a few seconds before following. A light flew from Lu Fengyao, enveloping Lin Moyu. She had expanded the protection range of the jade bead to cover both of them. Lin Moyu smiled, thank you, Sister Fengyao. Lu Fengyao asked, can you understand the Dao patterns? Lin Moyu shook his head, I can't, but I feel they are somewhat similar to runes. Maybe I can discover something. Lu Fengyao was surprised, you understand runes? Lin Moyu nodded, a little. Lu Fengyao looked at Lin Moyu like he was a monster, you've only been cultivating for 2,000 years, and you even understand runes. I really don't know how you cultivate. Lin Moyu humbly replied, I only understand a little, it's nothing. Lu Fengyao didn't believe him at all. From his demeanor, it didn't seem like he only understood a little. They approached the giant fish and saw the Dao patterns engraved on its scales. The Dao patterns on the scales were different from those on the fish bone. The patterns on the fish bone seemed natural and integrated, while those on the scales looked engraved and lacked that feeling. With just one glance, Lin Moyu confirmed that someone had engraved the Dao patterns on the scales. He immediately thought of the person who built the altar. The Dao patterns on the scales were strikingly similar to those on the altar, likely made by the same person. Recalling everything that had happened since entering this special space, Lin Moyu carefully reviewed every detail, not missing anything. Gradually, the events connected, and he arrived at a highly probable conclusion. Lin Moyu muttered to himself, he wants to revive the fish. Lu Fengyao didn't hear clearly, what did you say? Lin Moyu whispered, I speculate that all these arrangements are to revive this giant fish. Lu Fengyao was shocked, revive it? How is that possible? It's clearly dead. Lin Moyu replied, nothing is impossible. Perhaps a Dao sovereign has that ability. Reversing fate and resurrecting the dead seemed like a fantasy to Lu Fengyao. But to Lin Moyu, who had the power of resurrection, it wasn't impossible. Lu Fengyao still found it hard to believe, could you be mistaken? Lin Moyu said, it's hard to say. I'm just saying it's possible. But that's not important. What's important is how we find a way out and leave here. If my guess is correct, and a Dao sovereign set all this up, it has nothing to do with us. That's something for Dao sovereigns to worry about. Lu Fengyao agreed, then let's not worry about it and focus on finding a way out. Lin Moyu nodded slightly. The arrangements of a Dao sovereign were indeed beyond his reach. Boom. Suddenly, the sky exploded, and a black shadow swooped down. Sharp cries filled the air, followed by piercing sounds that resonated with their souls. Lu Fengyao's face changed dramatically, the insect race.